Jotan, Oyasumi, bonsoir, guten Abend, buenas noches, and if you're from Derbyshire, eop. How you doing, Mr. TK? You well?
Not bad, Barry. How are you?
I'm very well. I've been polishing up on my international vocabulary because this is the internationally renowned Poker Night Live double award-winning show. Thanks for joining us here this evening.
This goes everywhere, is that right?
But I believe so.
Far as Cornwall?
Even Derby.
Wow.
Matlock. Anyway, welcome to the show this evening. We've got a bumper-filled 4 hours for you. It's going to be, well, hopefully you've seen Poker Night Live before, but if you haven't, very simple. It's going to be mostly Hold'em. I think only Hold'em this evening.
Mostly
Shame.
only Hold'em.
I like Omaha, but Hold'em it is this evening. It's going to be multi-table tournaments, sit and goes, and a bit of cash for you. We're going to see the hole cards, and it's going to be delayed by about 5 minutes. And Tony and I will be giving some, hopefully, expert advice for you over the next 4 hours. Now, it's all about you. So your show, we want you to get in contact with us as much as you possibly can. And there's a number of ways of you contacting us here at the Poker Night Live studios. And, as if by magic, there's the email address in front of you, poker@pokernightlive.co.uk. That's poker@pokernightlive.co.uk. You can also use some kind of electronic implement to text to us. Make sure the word is poker within the text and text it to 84222. That's 84222. And there's also the pokernightlive.co.uk website full of great information, forums, you know, superb site. Anyway, without any further ado, should we have a look around the tables, Tony, see what's on offer this evening?
Let's see what we're doing tonight.
Okay, so. Here we go, we've got a $5 sit and go this evening. Oh, look at this, very nice colourways this evening. It's a $5 sit and go. Something a little larger, a $10 sit and go this evening. First cash game of the evening, the 25-cent, 50-cent cash game. And our multi-table tournament this evening, we'll be giving you more information about the multi-table a little later on. So, you feeling good? Ready for the next 4 hours?
Up for it.
Yeah?
Do it. Let's do it.
Where should we go first? Should we have a look at a sit and go? I'll tell you what we'll do. Let's go for cash? Yeah, I think so. Just to kick things off, nice and easy. 25, 50-cent cash game. Let's do it. So, let's crack on with this straight away, Tony. Was this your second show, Tony, now? Is it a third? How many shows have you done?
They've been very memorable. This is my fifth.
Fifth show?
That's what an impression I've made on you.
No, not the impression, but how much I actually watched the show.
Yeah, this is the fifth and final of my initial engagement, but they've extended me.
Excellent.
Yes, they've lengthened me to, to include June.
It's a family show. I'm not going to comment.
Yeah, 5 times, and I've had 2 very pretty accomplices.
And me.
And then me. I had Dr. Tom.
Yep.
And
me. It's been a mixed bag.
Well, no comment. Let's have a look at this
Why not, indeed.
Let's see
it's
what's
always
going
nice
on
to hit
here.
the set on the end, really, isn't it? Yeah. The set on the end from Johan Haran, who's...
Johan is, every
regular
time I
winner.
sit here and watch these cash games, he's busy. And by the end of the evening, I'll be very surprised if he hasn't accumulated himself a little stack.
No, in fact, if I have to back, if I had like a pool of 5 players I had to back here on Poker Night Live, Johan Haran would be definitely one of my choices.
Absolutely, I go with that.
Because he's a regular winner both in the cash and the tournaments. You played any of the Beat the Presenter, which we're going to have a little bit later on?
Yes, I played 3.
And?
Won them all.
Really?
No. No, I didn't win any.
Okay, I like it though. You know what? I know I've seen you play quite a lot actually, and you know your rock style is really not suited to this type of sit and go.
I played 1, and I finished a pretty magnificent 6.
Okay.
Which I was, you know, there was 8 began, and I outlasted 2 of them. And, that's it. Just the 1 so far.
Okay.
Who's tonight? You or I?
I don't mind. You know what? Have you only played 1? I've had a bit of a run in them. So I come 3rd the other night on Monday, and I've won a couple. I played 5, only missed the money once. So
You know, I've never seen you play poker.
No, you haven't, have you?
Never.
I think we've sat down in a cash game once or twice, but that's about it.
Yes.
Anyway, let's enough waffle. Let's see what's going on here in the 25-50 cent cash game. Just for the uninitiated, these you can sit down with the. Looks like the 7-3 is having a bit of a dwell up here. It's a long dwell up with a 7-3 from SOD, but well, it's back with
A
us now.
middling flop could be very interesting for Shaky and Skies, couldn't it?
Yes, we could have two pairs against the up and down, or vice versa.
All sorts of things could happen.
Yeah. It's an interesting race with the King 4. He's obviously smelled a little bit of weakness with a late position limp, and he took it down with his $2 raise. A nice move there from I'm Not a Minger.
What's his name?
I'm Not a Minger.
Yeah, right.
Battle of the blinds here. Two worthy hands in the blinds, Jack 10 and Ace 5. Johan with the gut shot straight draw.
Now top pair
Yes.
and gut shot.
Yep.
Sky Jets does not want to be making a play at this.
No, drawing absolutely dead. And takes it down. So I believe in these 25-50 cent game you can sit down with $25. 50 max, I believe, Tony.
So if they sit with 50...
I play a lot smaller than this, you see. I usually play the micro limits.
Yeah, right. Shaky's already been busy then.
Yes, he has, hasn't he? He's at least...
Having said that, he may have pulled up
pulled
several
up,
times.
yeah, spun up 3 times. And
So predictably, Johan has made a move with his ace 10, and he's got locked up as well. Oh dear, they're getting very busy with these two hands. He knows where he is though, Johan. He knows he's in front.
well, his limp's shown obviously weakless, and he's got this ace uses number, and he calls.
Oh, he does
Wow,
not.
nice flop though for the Jack 8. Look
Wow.
at that, a gut shot. Oh, now needs a Jack now, Johan. That's no, it's unlucky really. He's caught him really nice there with the. Although he's not that great a shape, is he? Ace 10 against Jack 8, 60-40, that kind of number.
It's about 60-40. I wouldn't want to be putting all my money on it.
No.
And he can't think he's ahead.
The Jack 8 we're talking
Yeah.
about. Although the Jack 8's, the Jack 8 has had to call his chips off here.
Correct.
So he hopes that either Johan's got a smaller pair or he's making some ridiculous move with no hand, which he didn't.
All right, so I don't really want to be putting all my chips in with Jack 8 just to gamble.
No.
Because he knew he wasn't ahead, but he also knew that Johan probably didn't have much. But brave play, but he's now got himself $95. Can he hang on to it?
Be interested to see how Johan gets out of this
Oh
one.
my goodness, he's got Johan dominated here. Badly dominated.
Yeah, well, the king may be a saver for both of them, though. Now
Not
with 3 clubs.
Not now.
Well, with 3 clubs as well, I don't think Johan's going to put another cent into this pot. I think Ace will have a bet at this one. I would. I know with the...
2 pair.
Wow, what's the
Was
check
he
here?
checked?
SOD will check, obviously, trying it his club.
His 4 flush. Oh, he's hit his 4 flush.
But can he call a bet if he
No.
wants to check this down? He can't even call a bet here. So
He can make a bet.
Ace, I think Ace Hughes really missed a trick on the turn there. He, with his 2 pair, could have easily had a pop at it and picked this one up.
Wow. 4 flush takes it. I must say, this is so much easier when you can see the whole cards.
You don't. It's not about the cards, Tony. I've seen you play.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
You'll make a move with any old filth like Ace King and Pocket
Well,
Queens.
no, I don't go down as far as Ace King now. I've tightened up a bit. Oh, that's a nice flop for Ace King.
Yeah,
Can
well,
Hook get off his Ace Jack?
Well, it depends if Ace wants to give him a free card. Ace Yours, yes he does. I think he'll bet this now with 2 hearts.
Oh, well,
so.
you like this, don't you? Look.
The 5s may fancy
Top
this
pair,
now.
nut flush draw.
Well, the 5s might fancy this, Tony.
He might. For his sake, we hope he doesn't.
Yeah.
They've
Okay.
played this very strange, these guys, haven't they?
Well, I don't. Actually, when it's see, I wouldn't be raising with the with the ace king there, would you? I'll try and keep him in to try and if he can nearly luck out.
Correct.
You know, he's got. I said he may bet with the 4 comes down, but I just picked up. He had the 4. He had the 4 to the flush, and it was a nut flush draw anyway. So, what was he scared of? See, Johan's pulled up.
He had the
here.
nut flush draw, but I agree with you. It's nice to play that hand a little slow sometimes, but sometimes you've got to get paid.
Just notice that Johan's pulled up. He's pulled up to the maximum 50, trying to get his money back.
He's got kings.
Look at this.
He's playing them pretty fast as well.
Well, but he's got 3 callers so far, and the ace 5. Oh, nasty flop from him though.
Oh, that's
Skyjets may not want to pass this hand now.
Well, he has a gut shot.
Straight flush draw.
Straight flush draw.
Yeah.
Oh, he's got everything here.
He'll lose everyone else, and I think Skyjets is going to have to pay the 8 to see the turn card.
I can't go away with Skyjet's hand, given what's on the table. There's 21 in the pot. He's got 23 in front of him. He has to get it all in. Johan's not going to put his kings down.
No.
It will end in tears. It's as simple as that.
And as for Skyjets, and just look, he pulls up 50, gets the kings, and not far away from where Westy began.
Yeah, and once again, Johan's got chips or cash, whatever way you look at it. I've never seen him without. I wonder where Ram Chip is tonight. Perhaps we'll see him on one of the other tables or in the MTT. Regular contributor on the forum, Ram Chip.
Indeed, yep. He's. I was looking at a couple of posts this evening. Just to let you know, viewers, if you're interested in, having a more interactive approach to the show, pokernightlive.co.uk. Wonderful parts of the. Wonderful way of getting in contact with us on the forum. You know, most of the presenters, well, in fact, all of them read it pretty much on at least weekly, if not daily basis, and I'm there on a weekly basis. But hey, look, there they go. As if by magic, a number of ways you can get in contact with us here in the studio, which is text 84222. That's 84222. Don't forget to include the word poker, and the email address poker@pokernightlive.co.uk. And a little bit back to front, but as I said a little earlier, pokernightlive.co.uk, a website, which is excellent. Do you go on there, Tony?
I do. I've used the forum quite significantly last month. Mm-hmm. Very, very nice forum. We've had quite an exchange of views with a few people. And,
they're very vociferous in a number of ways.
They're very supportive as well. And when I've got it round my neck, they've told me, and when I've done it right, that odd occasion, they've told me as well.
You can please some of the people all of the time. You can please something like that anyway.
I've posted a fair bit on there, and I get on there every day and have a look, and there's some great stuff on there.
There is. The nice thing about all of the people that post on the forum, they care about the show. They care about the show, whether they, have good or bad words to say about it. It's all about, usually for the betterment of the production, which is good.
Yeah, there's a section for presenters, section for the show, some general discussion. Well worth a look.
Yep. And not even, I looked through the posts for you, not once they've ever mentioned your hair.
Well, I'm afraid they have.
Have they?
Yes. In the most complimentary way, I may say.
Really?
I may say, yes. Yes, they was very kind. Oh. Just move on and watch this table if you don't mind.
Damn. I tried to get it in.
How can you talk about my hair? Let's wait till we're in vision.
I haven't got any.
Well, we'll have a discussion. I'm 44 and I've got hair.
Oh, yeah.
You're 49. I've
got no hair.
King 8.
I would explain to you, Tony, but it's something you're probably not aware of. It's called fashion. Anyway, we'll go back. Oh, look at this, a set of kings on the turn. Hello.
Well,
what was the jack? Has he come?
Well, he's made a move.
He has.
And bad time, because I don't think Shaky's going to let go of this.
No.
I believe he had the nuts.
Was there? Did he house up? Did he?
He didn't house up, but he still had the nuts.
Oh, there's a paired board, and he had the nuts. How can that be if he didn't have a house?
You're right.
Yeah.
I thought he had pocket kings, didn't he?
No. King 8.
King 8.
King
right,
8.
Okay.
Sorry,
You have to give me these hand rankings later.
No, that'd have been what a great move. You've limit raised the guy and you've got quads. Yeah. Anyway, What we got here? We got a jack-eye flop.
With Johan
First one
in front again. But he doesn't in front. But,
No. Not up and down. Everyone's got a piece of this now. Hookmaster with the up and down. Tony Corbett with the second to last pair. And Johan still in front with his 8. I think
he's got a gut shot as well.
Hook's going to call.
Johan's got the gut shot.
Right.
Now he's got...
now he's in trouble.
Yeah.
So,
oh dear. Hook's found his straight.
He has.
Hook's hooked it. Luckily,
I can't see Johan getting overly busy now with the one card straight possibility. Hooks will obviously have a bit of a value pop at this 150. I think he'll get that at Johan.
Nice bet.
Yeah, it was a fishy bet from the hook.
Yeah, if he bets too much there, he loses his customers. So,
exactly.
Sometimes you just have to have that.
And the problem,
little bit.
The problem you've got is that there are bigger straights out there.
Correct.
So Hook puts a sizable bet and someone comes over the top. What are you going to do now?
Yeah, he can get away from it. So he's played that perfect, I think.
Yeah, no, he played it well. Maximum value. Unlike you in cash games.
Ask
Derek.
Mr. Kelly.
Yeah, I know, he told me. Anyway, look, here we go. Ace, Queen suited. You can be raising out of that position, Tony, with the Ace, Queen suited?
In the cash, yes.
Yeah.
Early in the tournament, I limped with this in early position. And
really?
Just see what happens.
And it gets raised round the back, you're going to call and see a flop?
I might even re-raise.
Depends who it is.
You can raise early in the comp, with blinds at 25-50, you get 7 callers, and now we don't know where we are. We're out of position, we missed the flop, what do we do? Sometimes you can just limp with a hand.
Look at that, Johan getting rid of the ace-10 like it was 7 deuce.
Well, Asius has called that raise with pocket deuces.
I think he may be hoping for a deuce.
Yeah, he's...
Because whatever comes on the flop's going to look nasty.
He fancies there may be overs on
like
the flop.
the Queen.
No, there's 3 overs for starters. He's got some ways out of this, but they're a bit exotic.
Well, he's not going to get there because I think Shaky's going to bet this because with 2 diamonds and a possible straight out there, possible straight draw out there, he's going to have to bet this.
Well, we've got 3 aces out here.
We have none of them really, the ace-9's possible worth a call because he's suited, but not much of a hand. Person in the row have the 8-9 of clubs.
We'd like that 8-9 of clubs to be truthful, wouldn't we? We just picked up a gut shot.
Yep. And I'm not a Minger's probably going to bet out here with his top pair. I would. Everyone's limped in.
These guys don't have enough to call.
No. If it was 8-9 of hearts, then...
Yeah, they just don't have enough of anything to call.
No.
So, see another suited ace.
Yep, in the small, but Tony's going to raise with his king-queen. Nothing wrong with that. Pretty optimistic with the ace-8 there, Tony.
Yeah, and what he doesn't know is there are not many hearts left in the pack. There were 6 hearts on display there. And so he can't get there with his flush now. He's still winning. But if Tony bets properly, oh my goodness. I was about to say, if Tony bets properly, block should re-race.
Well, I tell you.
What a great move.
Yeah.
He knew where he was.
Well,
I have to say, in Block's position, I can't make that move. I run to the hills there. Well, they've all got bus tickets here, so it's bravest will win.
So the problem most people don't remember is that even seeing all 5 cards on the flop, you're only 7.3% to make a flush with suited cards.
Correct.
And if there's no other card out there, that's not great odds. And you've got to see all 5 cards to hit that flush.
Correct. When people say it was suited, I mean, you have to sit and smile, don't you? The difference is infinitesimal. In pot odds, you can't measure it. But they say it was suited, and I have to say I have a weakness for suited aces myself. Like suited connectors, when they hit big, but by God, you lose some money on the way.
Well, see, there was a really nice part of one of I think it was in Super System that Doyle Brunson actually said in No Limit Hold'em he'd rather play 7-8 off than 7-8 suited, and the reason why is because people get, if you hit a flush draw with a 7-8, you know, you could be really a massive dog and do all your chips on a draw when you're drawing dead. You're absolutely drawing dead. That's why he'd rather play 7-8 off than 7-8 suited. That's what he's saying. Now,
well,
he's not bad.
He's been around the block a few times.
He has.
But that's his view, and I'm surprised you read Super System.
Why?
Well, it's just, you know, a lot of the older generation swear by it, and I just saw you more as a progressive, you know, youngster, really.
Do you want to be honest? I've never read Super System.
That's more like it.
No. Someone quoted this to me before.
Ah, you've never read it?
I've never read it.
I couldn't imagine you ever reading Super System. I just couldn't.
And I tell you, the only, if you would quickly talk about, oh, hello, just got we've got a set of kings on the river here for Johan, and he's checked it into ace due because the third spade's come down. Just quickly on books while we're there. There's only a very few books I've read on poker, which is the No Limit Hold'em and No Limit and Championship Limit Hold'em from TJ and McAvoy. Slansky book, which is my first, the advanced, you know, the one with the revolver on the front, the advanced poker, which is my first ever poker book, which I remember reading it for the first time, played my first ever comp. I think I played 2 hands all night. Like group 1, waiting for group 1 hands, ace queen in late position, no, muck.
It's frightening, isn't it? If people start taking notice of that, they got a rude.
If you played like Slansky all the time, it would be the most boring game in the world. It would be, wouldn't it? It really would.
To be fair, you have to learn the fundamentals. But not too many bracelets will be won by people reading those sort of books. I think you have to be inventive these days.
No, and I think as far as a book goes, the Slansky book is a good grounding. It's a good way to learn very basic, tight, rocky Hold'em. I really think so.
Correct.
And
but I think that's ideal in many cases for cash games, but it won't get you a long way in tournaments.
No, it won't. And the other 2 books, the 2 Harrington books, I don't know if you've read those,
yep.
but they're okay. They're okay. I've read them twice now, and
but what % of your accumulated knowledge on poker came from those books? Just roughly. 5%.
The more I play, the less they have an influence over me, because you know, poker, like life, you play like your personality. If you're flamboyant, if you're loud, if you're this, that, you play usually like your personality dictates, and. You know, you have to go with that. You can't change your personality as a poker player. It's difficult.
Yeah,
it's difficult too.
The other thing
obviously, you have gears.
Yeah, you read the book and it will tell you how to play pocket jacks in early position. But the reality is, particularly in tournaments, there's no right or wrong way. It just depends on that table, and there are 1,000 variables that say this way. Today you do it this way. With a different table, in a different position, at a different stage of the tournament, with different relative stacks, you play it that way. You just can't say that's the way to play it.
Are you a book reader of poker? Have you read the... No, I know you're a prolific writer of poker, but...
I'm a book reader, but not a poker book reader.
Really?
I've got a library of, I don't know, 15 or 20, but to be honest, they didn't help me much. They really didn't. Mm-hmm. Great Western Steam Trains has been useful.
Really?
You should read it. It's excellent stuff.
Okay.
Excellent
I've read Sun and the Art of War. Was it Zen and the Art of War? Or something?
Zen, yeah.
That was no help either.
Keep away from them books.
Yeah. Okay. Look, we've got a couple of emails I want to get through before going back to the cash game. This is an email from Indestructible. He says, "Hi guys, I have a question about playing in the small blind position." Always a good question. If you're in the small blind and there are no raisers, should you always call, as it is possible to see a cheap flop, whatever your cards, or am I throwing money away on bad hands? So, you're in the small blind, Tony. Do you always, as a matter of principle, just make up the blind because of value, getting 4-1 if it's an unraised or if it's a limp pot or no one's in the pot, or are you just going to purely play your cards in that position?
No, the question I think was, do you always call in the small blind? The answer is no. I quite often give the big blind a walk. So many chips are burnt by making up. People make up with any hand, And it's a waste of chips. Not so bad early in the tournament, but as the tournament develops and the blinds get bigger, you're throwing serious chips away. The other thing about it, particularly if you get a bit thin on chips, is if you give the big blind 3 walks, not even made up, and you need some chips and it gets round to you, there's been no action, you can make a raise with nothing now, because now when you come in, he's on his guard. So my answer would be, no, I don't make up every time, not at all, and I have no shame about it. Some people will defend their blind with their life. I think they're mad.
So, indestructible.
Help yourself to my blinds.
Indestructible, right? You know, me personally, I play a little bit different to Tony. I see it as a personal challenge to try and nick my big blinds blind all the time. But, you know, there's only so many times you can nick the big blind. Making up sometimes, I'll mix up my play when it comes to play, especially in tournaments. You know, in cash, a little different, but in tournaments, I'll mix it up. Sometimes I might get dealt a massive hand, make up. If he's an aggressive player, he might want to come over the top and get busy. With filth cards, I might throw them away sometimes. But a lot of the time, I'm going to make sure that I give the player a decision to make. By making up, the only decision he's got is, shall I check or shall I raise? I'm going to try and raise a lot of the time.
That's the point. His question was, do you always make up? And,
No.
and I think you're saying the same as me. Sometimes you let it go for a reason.
Yep.
Because in 2 orbits, you're going to come back over the top with him. You're going to represent a hand you don't have.
Yep.
And so the answer is no.
You made a very valid point, though, Tony. I've seen more players go out in the blind versus blind confrontation with the filthiest hands. You know, they make up with 9-10. The flop comes king 9 deuce, and you're thinking, well, it was in the big blind, not much chance of having a king wallop. And the guy calls with king 6, and, you know, it's really, you know, not the way to be going out of tournaments.
What you get here is guys play solid poker for hours on end, you know, with the right sort of cards, make moves, maybe have a couple of ducks and dives, but they throw their tournament away because they got some sort of ego thing about the guy in the big blind or the small blind messing about with them. That's crazy. You know, you need to win the war, not the battle. Let them have them now and then. You have the last laugh, though, when you're ready, on your terms, in your time.
One other thing I would say about the small blind, if you are going to try and trap, say you've been raising the fella's big blind all the time, raise, and he started to get the ump, you get dealt pocket queens, okay? You make up, gets checked, it comes down 3 rag cards. You bet out he moves all in. You know, be prepared to lay this hand down, because if the guy's a pretty solid player, if I'm up against Tony, I'd bet out my queens on a 9 high flop and he moves in. Easily could have hit 2 pair. Easy. You know, these are situations that you've got to read very, very carefully. So, you know, I would treat in the small blind, big blind confrontation with extreme caution all times. And Indestructible, thank you very much for the email. It was, you know, a very, very interesting topic, and one I always enjoy talking about, actually.
Yeah, it's very, very important in tournaments.
Absolutely.
Particularly in latter stages.
Yeah.
Don't waste too many chips on making up, in my opinion.
Good. So if you want to join Indestructible and email the show, text the show, or get in contact with us of numerous ways, there are coming on your screen now, as if by magic, the ways you can. Text the studio, that's 84222, 84222. There's the email for you. I'm not going to say it again because you've heard me say it at least 6 times this evening. Now, we're going to quickly leave the sit and go. We're going to see if we can figure out some of these small blind, big blind confrontations on a $20 sit and go. So let's go into the matrix and go straight to this single table tournament. So it's one of these short structure tournaments, Tony. We have 2 now on Poker Night Live. We've got the long one, which is the 2,000, and we've got the 1,000, which is goes up slightly quicker as well in number of hands. So.
What is the, is it every X hands or X minute, every orbit?
Every X hands.
Okay, so it's probably every orbit, excuse me.
Every 10 hands.
Yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
so just over one orbit.
Yeah, it's just over an orbit. So they're not going to have to hang around here. They've got 1,000 chips. They start with 50 big blinds. And we haven't lost anybody at this stage. We've picked it up right at the beginning. And we've walked into action straight away. We've got our friend in seat 8 with pocket queens, and Big Slick may be tempted with his suited ace, but at this stage of a competition, I'd be getting out of the way quick.
Not for six.
Oh,
not, hello.
Well, what about
Lady
that?
Jane, who I believe, so I've been told by the Well, the studio is from Barry Island, which
That's
is
correct. Yep.
which is always interesting. And the ace five's in for value. Oh dear. So, perfect flop for the Queens, really. And
It is, but he has to keep betting. As it happens, Big Slick has got a gut shot.
but that's all.
But it's not a good gut shot.
Lady Jane's called with nothing. Now she's up and down.
Lady Jane now must have been seen that card coming.
Deary me. Well, he only SS Shakey's only made it 100, so he kind of value to him. But
It was sin. I guess he says I got 2 overs.
yeah, which
Or
was
3,
true.
as the case may be. Got 2 overs. Well,
That was a strange one.
We have a short tournament, and you've got to get busy, and you can't hang around. So let's bear that in mind. But equally, there are better ways to burn off a quarter of your chips than calling with 8-10 on a 7-eye flop.
Got ace five for a gut shot. What was it, 3 or something?
Yeah. You don't need to be calling too much in this structure, I don't think. I think you need to be leading the way.
Well, like any structure, you know, I'd say to most players, you know, raising or folding is probably the winning in general. I'm not saying you know,
Yep.
you don't get many calling stations winning tournaments. Put it that way.
That's true. Well, that's a nice flop for bullets.
Anyone hit? No, no one's got top pair.
Nobody's got
Matt's
much of
in
this.
front with his 7, but I don't think he's going to be able to call this. Just under a pot-sized bet.
Monty probably still quite likes his hand here. Oh yes. What is calling for his overcards? I really would like to see him pass or re-raise there, because he hasn't actually answered any questions. He doesn't know what it's against yet.
So he's made his straight bullets,
Wow. Now can Monty get off this?
and I believe it is the nuts. Oh dear.
Yeah.
How much is it? Well, he's not going to pay, is he? So, you know, bullets will raise and Monty's going to pass.
Bullets will re-raise and Monty will let go. He's re-raising exactly the right amount, but it doesn't make any difference. Monty has to pass here. He can put bullets on a bluff. But,
You know what would have been a really nice card on the river? A jack. I know it's not very nice for bullets, but the jack on the river would have... all hell would have broke loose there. Oh, big slick with the kings. Is he going to limp? Is he going to play him slow? No, 5 times a big blind is his raise. Bit too high for my liking, Tony, under the gun with kings.
He's found some action.
Yes. But what does SS Shaky want to see? He doesn't really want to see an ace.
That's what he wants to
That's
see.
what 2 hearts is
Yeah,
what
now
he wants to see.
now, rightly or wrongly, we got involved here. This has to cost him a great deal.
Oh, look at this. He's up and down now.
And now this
Come
has,
on, Big
this
Slick.
has to cost him all of his stack. If Big Slick moves in,
Come on, Big Slick. You've got to move in now with the kings. You've got a
And-
gut shot and an overpair.
Snaky cannot pass. Oh my goodness.
Man, why didn't he move in? I know he would have gone broke there, Big Slick, but you have to make him pay.
Yeah. Well, it's hard to say. I mean, you can look at that to say that Big Slick didn't pay them as well as he might, but equally hard to anticipate getting called with that hand. And he's paid off. The suited ace has come through. Kings have been turned over. He's gone away with a hump now. Needed to bet stronger on the turn, I think. But it's easy to say when you can see the hands. The only thing that could have got Big Slick off there was if the ace fell. So, 2 pairs for Matt. Top 2 pairs. But it's very, very dangerous. He's
There's
not
a
going to
jack
get
there.
too deep in this.
Bottom and top he's got, Tony.
That's a misread. We have a TK misread here.
What's that?
If you convince yourself you've got top 2 pairs, you
It
play
doesn't really matter
strongly.
when you've got the five flush draw. Obviously, Lady Jane fancies the club's good, which in fact it is.
I don't think Matt passes that.
No, he didn't. He called and he won.
Well, all the chips
Cor-
gone on a
Lady J may have been from Barry Island, but not an island I'm familiar of, which was
trying to draw
doing
to
your
a
chips
five
early
flush.
doors. Yeah, no, making the move with the 5 flush.
Yeah. You can't. I mean, it could have run into a 6 flush, even a 7. You never know.
Yep. If you should have found someone foolish, or he found someone foolish enough to call with a 7 high flush draw.
So we are now down to 6 in short order. We've seen the missed flush draw, and we've seen the kings in rapid succession disappear.
Both played very nastily, in my opinion. The kings really shouldn't have been giving any free cards on that flop. I don't mind going broke and letting someone hit your flush, fine, but man, it's so cheap to hit it.
It did, but you know, we talked about this last week, and then it went on to the forum and discussed it. This thing is risk and reward. You know, the guy knows when he doesn't bet much what he's doing. He's teasing, he's milking, he's trying to get more value for his kings. Now, in the end, it's cost him his competition. But that is the equation. Sometimes you say, I want to get paid for this hand, and you play it slower than you should.
But you know what? It's all very well and good, and sometimes you have to take risks in these particular events. But by betting the right amount on the flop, it gives you enough information to work out what you're going to do on the turn and river, because you may have shaky on the flush draw now.
Yeah.
Now, when the third heart comes down the river, if you're still there and if you've got any chips left, you can possibly get away from this now.
Yeah.
You can. But you've not found out.
Yeah, what you're saying, again, is something we discussed last week, is that betting is actually asking questions.
It is asking questions.
Yeah.
And that's, you know, you
It
can
was,
actually say...
it was actually unpassable for the flush draw on the turn. There was no way he should let go at that stage, given the bet that was into him and what was in the pot.
Absolutely.
He was,
now,
if
the kings move in here, different
innocent.
scenario. Different scenario.
Yeah.
Okay, because now it's costing all your chips to hit a 9-outer on the river. And now you're what? You know, just over 4 to 1.
Yep.
Because I think he had the king. In fact, it was less than that because he had the king of clubs. And speaking of the Cowboys,
down again.
Jocko 2K.
Every time I come to the show, I see Slansky with chips. He's the chip leader, comfortably. 2,230.
Old SS
There
Shaky.
are 6 players left, so the average is presumably 1,600, is it?
13 it would be. wouldn't it?
1,300.
2,000 divided by
1,333.
6. Would that be right? It sounds about right. 13. Yeah, I think that's right. 1 divided by 7. Yeah.
It's near enough.
It's far too late for it doing any complicated maths.
Lines are still 10-20. So we've actually seen a lot of action in the first.
Enormous action for a first
yeah,
level.
I mean, we've lost 2 people, and he's playing very fast.
Must be the colour purple, obviously causing some
Yeah.
tilting to Muchley. Oh,
The average stack is about 65 big blinds, so there's actually plenty of time for these guys to go
I'll
to
tell
sleep.
you that will soon go up because I think we've had the prescribed amount of.
At this stage, with these blinds, I'd be out mowing the lawn or something.
You must have a very small lawn.
So, motley collection of hands. We're still on 10-20. Our friend Slansky, chip leader. Bullets in seat 4. And Matt in seat 7, just behind. Then Joko, followed by Coco Pops, and bringing up the rear, if I may say that, Monty 9991. So, King 10-10. That somehow managed to avoid everybody. Nobody's got a flush draw.
No, we've got a gut shot for
We've got a gut
for
shot
Matt.
for Matt.
That's it. Can't see anyone getting overly busy
No,
here.
we can get too busy here because you could be walking the trips, could be walking a flush draw.
First one to have a pop, I think is going to win this. I suppose anyone really to do this would be SS Shaky. 1, he's got the chips, and 2, he's got position.
Oh, now Monty's found the ace. But
Still not going to like it too much, is he?
no, Coco Pops has got a flush draw.
Flush draw and a gut shot,
A big
Jack.
flush draw and caught his queen.
But Matt's going to win this well if he stays in. And Matt and SO Shaky and Bullets have all got the straight.
Wow. 3 people with the straight.
Yeah. It was a bit of a stealth straight, wasn't it? Runner for these 3.
How extraordinary that there were 6 people in that hand and 3 of them had the jack.
Yeah.
And rivered the straight.
Yeah. It's fixed, I tell you, Tony. It's fixed.
It's rigged. It's rigged. There's not as queer as poker as there. 52 cards can come out every sort of combination. 3 jacks there, and they've all called a straight. Just imagine you were sat with a big set or something there. You'd be a bit cross, wouldn't you?
Yeah. I would like to be behind with the flush, though, sitting there thinking, go on, boys, you crack on with your jacks. I'll just scoop up. Got Shaky with the top pair. I think with the 2 diamonds out there, he will have a bit of a go at this one.
This should be removed without drama. Blinds are still 10-20.
Yep.
This is a positive slow comp. Well,
As if by magic.
Yep, we saw it coming. They're now 20-40.
Who do you fancy the look of here, Tony, as far as the way they've played so far? To take this down.
Well, on what I've seen in previous weeks, Snaky got a pretty solid game. And a regular post on the forum as well.
Yep.
Well, nobody's got much here. Joko's got top pair, as has Snaky. They've both effectively got the same hand. There isn't a diamond out. So nobody's drawing to this flush, but nobody knows that. And Matt actually has a gut shot as well.
Yep, needs a deuce.
Cocoa Pops can get out of the way, that's right. And he would have caught his gut shot.
Yeah. if they would have checked that, I'm sure he'd
have got nicely paid there.
Well, I don't know about with 3 diamonds out there, but I'm sure they've got something.
Well, with 320 in the pot, you know, he bets 80 on the end.
Yep, no, he gets paid.
They both have to pay 80, don't they?
Absolutely.
Hard to pass for 80. We see Jack Queen of Spades again. Remember, with blinds at 20-40, an early first to speak pot raise would be something like 120, 130.
Yeah, if you're going to go for your 3 times a big blind kind of prescribed raise.
Somewhere in that area. I mean, I actually like to mess that around a bit at this stage. I like to sort of put it up and down. It's surprising if you make a 1-with-1 raise, particularly later in the copper, but if you just go 1-with-1, let us say if the blinds are 40, if you go 40-with-40, you know, it can have the effect of making people uneasy. Has he got a monster?
Why did you limit raise? You want me in this pot? Are you pricing me in?
And you're always a little bit nervous. You're, I don't like this. He won with
it's
one
like
raise.
the limp under the gun when the blinds are quite big.
And the guy gets away with seeing a flop, you know, that he isn't really entitled to see, because everybody's worried about him. Monty's got the kings, but looking at what's out, unless he gets cute with these, he's not going to get too much action. He's raised it up as he should. Bullets needs to pass, and that's it. He's took the blinds on a limper, but you can't lose if you don't see a flop. So. So, Joko's found the big slick.
What? What's Monty up to?
Well, Monty's had a bit of a shy at this, had a bit of a pop.
I might have having a pop, but why not follow through on the flop? Without the amount of money in the middle, I'd have been making some move at this.
Well,
now Jocko has got basically open season now to nick this.
Yeah, we didn't see the action before the flop, but
I think he's gone. I think he's in the small blind, big blind. Jocko 2K's raised. It's gone cool.
Yeah.
And they both checked to him. So I suppose he has got position.
Still plenty of time.
Strange old call though with Queen 7, I must say.
They've still got 30 odd big blinds average, so that doesn't really come into it. And round the back of the table, left hand side, we've got 2 flush draws. And
Snaky with a slickster, yep.
Yeah. Hard for Matt to call this, really.
Well, 1 against the chip leader and 2 out of position, so
yeah,
it's an
everything's
easy fold.
wrong for him. There are a few sweeter feelings than taking it down without a flop. Ace King in particular. Ace King in particular. Let's not have a flop.
Absolutely.
So, this is developing nicely. We may be coming back later. We've got the suited ace for Monty. The monster 3-9 for Matt 33.
See, this is the kind of play I don't understand. You call big raises with Queen 7, and now you limp with ace 4.
And you get behind to 3-9.
Yeah.
But
okay, we're gonna pause this one right there, Tony. It's a nice position. The blinds are 20-40 with 6 players left, and you fancy Snaky for this one?
yeah, I'll go for Snaky.
Okay.
Who are you having? You have to.
I'll
name
go for
one.
Bullets. He's been very quiet. He's played a very solid game so far. So just as a bit of a sporting bet between us, I'll have Bullets, but
Okay.
we'll find out when we get back. Now, we've got a couple of emails to get through before going to our first break of the evening. This is an email from Bain. Bain, he says, greetings to all. Was wondering if you could pass on my love and support for my girlfriend, Harmony 26, who is playing in tonight's free roll at the Purple Lounge. Keep up the good work, boys, and wish her all my best. So, all your best from Bain to Harmony 20. Sounds like I'm on a radio show, requests and, happy birthday and blah.
I'm welling up here.
Really? Okay. It's the bag overflowed again, Tony.
Just get on with it. Don't you start. I have
Sorry,
another.
I'm kidding. Anyway, an email here from Double Top. He goes, hi Barry and TK. Must say, for my first visit to a card room, going to the Gut Shop was a great experience for me last Friday night after the Poker Bowl. Barry, I must say, all the staff made us feel at home, and next time I'm in London, I will be visiting again. Friday showed me how different playing live is different to online. Do you think it's good value for an online player to play satellites for live tournaments, such as the World Series of Poker at the moment? Or are these online qualifiers just dead money for experienced live players? As I do not live near a casino or a card room, then my chances of getting live experience is limited. So until I get more live experience, I know I'm staying away from these type of multi-table tournaments. What do you think? Well, personally, Double Top, thanks for the email, by the way. Live poker is where it's at, for me, personally. I love playing live. I like looking across the table, looking into your eyes and trying to get a read of what's going on. Very difficult to do on the online. Obviously, you can pick up, patterns of betting and, how long is that person taking, what's his pattern of play, etc. But for me, it's not only the playing against someone else, it's obviously, the banter and the general camaraderie of playing around the table with 9 other or 10 other poker players, which I really enjoy. I don't know about you, Tony. How do you feel about this when it comes to it?
For me, it's all about live poker. It really is. But you did make a point there, which we may come back to after the break or later on. We're talking about super satellites online. Are they a waste of money? You must remember that super satellites are a skill in themselves. They are different to tournament poker. They're different to cash poker. And I think it's so important that later on, I hope we can discuss this, there is a different way completely of playing a supersat, particularly where there's multi-seats available. And there is tremendous value available.
Pass aces.
And yeah, absolutely. This is a
I'll
situation.
pass aces in Super Sat. We can come back to this after break. Actually, some really good stories about this.
It's an excellent situation. I think you should play online supersets.
I will say one thing, Double Top, before we go to the break. If you ever get a chance to play a World Series, go and play it. It's a wonderful thing. It is the blue ribboned event, especially the main event. Anyway, we're going to go to a break right now. Tony Kendall, Mr. TK, Barry the Bully Martin, going to see you in a few moments after the break.
in City West, and we've just had the Showdown Poker Tour in the Fitzwilliam Casino last weekend.
Yeah, well, the Showdown, like we spoke very briefly to Mick Lacey on Monday in regards to this, but what's your take on it, Roy? Is it a catastrophe? Has it been a success?
You know, at the end of the day, the final product's what is going to count. It's a tournament specifically for television, and I don't think it matters if there's 2,000 people or 20 people there. If the final table, which goes out on TV, is good, it's good action, it's well presented, well produced, that's what matters. So I know people will be disappointed and say it's a disaster when I condemn it already. I wouldn't. You know, I met the guys that behind the thing. I like their ideas, I like their ethics, and you know, I would certainly go to another one.
Some people say it was a mistake of theirs not to have a headline sponsor. Would you agree?
Absolutely not. Again, people have been looking at this and looking at the EPT and saying, well, this is supposed to be the new rival, and it's not. The key to it is the EPT has a major sponsor. A website is behind the thing, and that website, we all know what it is, could probably pump in 2,000 players to every single EPT if they chose to. Showdown Poker Tour, without a main sponsor, a headline sponsor, would be more attractive to a lot of sites. If you was going to run online satellites for an EPT event with all its branding, all its flop shots, all the T-shirts, all the bumper and advert breaks, your T-shirt, your satellite qualifier is going to get lost. Whereas in the Showdown Poker Tour, with no branding, I think it would be more attractive for a lot of sites to send their players to it.
So you wouldn't agree that, like Mick said on Monday, that having a very high buy-in, which €5,000 is, you know, pretty much out of the reach of most of, you know, most of the common poker player, was a little too high in their first series?
Again, there's a quality thing there, and you know, the bottom line is quality players are more attracted to higher buy-in tournaments. If you gave me the option of going in a 1,000 entry tournament with 300 runners, or 10,000 entry with 30 runners, I know which is easier to win. I know where I'm more likely to get return on my investment. Established players will go for the higher entry fee, A, because they can, B, because they've got a better chance of succeeding. It's a fine balance, but you know, we have seen recently that a cheap entry fee is not the answer to everything, and nor is an expensive entry. There's a balance in this to be found somewhere. €5,000, I don't think it's too far off the mark these days.
Roy, I'm missing something here. We went to the event at Jury's Inn last month. 350 runners, 353 runners. How many do you expect this week for at City West?
Same buy-in, isn't it? €5,000.
3,000 euros.
3,000. Okay.
3,000, 5,000. It's the same market. How many do you expect this week, Roy?
I'm led to believe around 150.
Okay, 150 this week. There were 350 a month ago. I still can't quite see why there was only 23 on two separate occasions. Something isn't adding up for me.
Yeah, the Irish Open is the Irish Open. It's always been there. It's the most established tour there is. It's been there for 25 years now. It's not been made specifically and designed by anybody like the EPT has. Make no mistake, the EPT is Poker Stars up and down. The Irish Open remains the Irish Open, sponsored by Paddy Power. Paddy Power put a lot of online qualifiers on themselves, did all sorts of promotions all across Ireland, and they got the numbers quite simply through their own site. The Irish Championships that was on in City West earlier the year, 393 runners, and this weekend coming, probably anticipate 150, maybe a few more. Again, it is sponsored by a website who have put in a lot of players themselves. The Showdown Poker Tour have not got that advantage. They're going to be dependent on other sites supporting them, and I think they should, because they're standing on neutral ground. They're not sitting down on a table which is branded up for everybody to see. Go to so-and-so.com. They're giving sites a chance to support themselves.
Yeah, I'm not being critical of it, Roy. I'm simply making a point. I don't understand why there should only be 23 or 26 in the first two outings, number one, particularly in Dublin where the scene booms. But hearing what you say about quality, a series that only attracts 24 runners.
Roy, we're going to have to come back to this. We've got to go to a break here on Poker Night Live. So thanks for joining us, and we'll see you in about an hour's time. We'll see you after the break. Welcome back. This is Poker Night Live. I'm Barry the Bully Martin, joined by Mr. Tony TK Kendall, who's busily spending my money this evening on Beat the Presenter. So if you are out there playing against Tony this evening, it's not me, it's him. So, you know, these late position raises you may be thinking about calling, don't. He's an absolute rock.
I could be very brave with other people's money.
Yes, indeed. Be careful. I've actually done really well. That's a good slot for you. I've actually done really well. I've actually doubled my money. All these excellent things. So don't be spunking it too early this evening. All right, I've got an image to keep up. Anyway, look, we were discussing the double top email just before the break there, and he was talking about a lot different from playing online to live, and is it worth us or online players playing events like online satellites for live tournaments? Basically, we were saying, yes, we think it is. Hopefully you enjoy playing live when you're down at the club double top. And, playing these big events are, a major adrenaline rush. I'm sure you'd be very nervous if you played one of these events, but very much worthwhile, I would suggest to anybody to try these, because it's just so much good fun. It really is. And there's pots of gold at the end of it if you do make the money, or end up actually winning the thing. And you're saying that these online qualifiers are dead money. They're not. You've got Joe Hatcham, online qualifier, or did he? Well, it was an online player, put it that way. He actually summed his money up from cash games he won online to go and play the World Series. Chris Moneymaker, famous online qualifier, and the list is pretty endless as far as good online players that have done well in the live arena. So. If it was my money, yes, I'll definitely give it a shot, because you can buy in so cheap now to some of these World Series qualifiers. $10, $15, $20 as the first tier. So please do give it a go. Anyway, look, we're going to quickly go back while Mr. TK rummages through this. We've got an email from Mr. Baldy. Now, Mr. Baldy, now, I could ask you, Tony, if you want to answer this, but I'll leave it, it's up to you. He says, hi, guys. TK, oi, are you a train spotter?
I most certainly am a train enthusiast. I wouldn't say a train spotter.
Obviously, he wasn't being derogatory. It was about the book you mentioned a little earlier.
Trains are wonderful things.
They are. They get you from here to there.
What is he actually offering?
He says, I'm a signaller on a railway, proper levers and all that.
Levers. You have levers in a signal box.
Levers?
Levers.
Okay.
You actually change the points with the levers, yeah?
Really?
Oh,
So you are a proper trainer. I'm from London,
So what is he saying?
Okay, on railways we have proper levers and all that, and I'm not far from Derby. For a lesson in poker, we'll give him a guided tour of my signal box. Ooh, Mrs. Oh, signal box, yes, indeed.
I like that.
That's got to be well worth it. If you fancy that, please text TK me back. Oh, text me back or mail me back. Get show again.
I like this man.
Good show again, and thank you. I think it's got actually on the text. I think because it's obviously it sounds like he's busy. Must be while he's mucking around with these levers. And for 44, you look well.
I like him a lot.
You want a black and white portable?
I like him a lot.
No? And I wonder how much you pay for that barber and the hair colour.
I'm going off him.
Yes. Anyway, thank you very much, Baldy, and I will pass on your details to TK, and I'm sure he will be joining you in your box very soon.
I would love to go around a signal box. I really would.
Okay, there you go. Right, we were in the middle, or early stages of the $20 single table. But before we go, we've had some good emails this evening. We want to see more. Please do email or text in to us here, Mr. TK and myself, Barry the Bully Martin. Any questions, comments you have about the show, anything basically poker. In fact, anything this evening you want to get in contact with us, that'd be great. Text, you can 84222. The email address is there, and the web address, and carrier pigeon. Even getting the train and your lever and signal box and everything. Anyway, look, $20 sit and go. We was there earlier. Let's go back. Mr. TK's choice was, I believe. Funny enough, it was the chip leader, I believe, Mr. TK. Snaky.
That's how he got to be chip leader, because he was the best.
Easy choice, though. I think I'll have chip leader. And I said I went for bullets.
I never saw his chip.
Bullets. Okay. Anyway, look, you get back to the game. I'll comment on
I'll
this
go
for a
back
while.
to your money.
Yeah. In fact, play how you normally do. Play one hand every 3 hours. Is this the longer one you're on? The longer structure?
Yes, the grinders.
The grinders.
The grinders one.
Okay. So have a look at this. So Snaky, TK's choice, is got bottom pair against second pair for Monty, and Matt with the 4. I think this one's all over, done and dusted. So 6 left in this $20 fast-paced. And when we say fast-paced, we mean the shorter structure. 1,000 chips to start. Every 12 hands, the blinds go up, which is not like Mr. TK's one he's playing at the moment under my name, which is 13 hands, I believe, and just a few more chips. 2,000 chips on your one, I believe, isn't it?
Yeah, I just thought I'd lose your money slowly, you see.
Oh, good man.
I could sit here, I could still be here on Friday with this structure. I may well.
Yeah, you could be. They pay you overtime? I don't think so.
They pay me anything?
Do they?
Oh, news to me.
See if my man Bullets, you take it down. Ah, good man. We've got blinds have got 10-3 for my man Bullets and pocket 8s for Monty. Now, if Monty's play up to date's anything to go by, he'll flat call. There we go. And he'll see a dangerous flop and have to fold. And no, he doesn't. 5-7-7, and he checks. Come on, Monty. You've got a lovely flop for your 8s. It's come 7 high. All right, it's paired. No big deal. You've got to bet it. And the overcard comes, and now you want the bet. Interesting. Oh well, takes all sorts, I suppose. Matt with the 5 deuce, the powerhouse passing. Monty on the button makes up with his rag ace. And once again out flop. You see, the problem I've got with Monty's plan, I don't mean to be picking on him, but a couple of examples there. He's limped with the 8s previous in the small blind to a limpers. He's on the button with a playable hand in ace 9 when it's past you, and you just limp, and you know it's unlikely you're going to hit a massive flop with ace 9. You've got to put people to decisions with these kind of hands. And this is not directed just at Monty, but you know in general, I think it highlights that the calling game, especially in tournament hold'em, is not a formula. And evidence is quite clear to see here. Pocket 7 for my man Bullets. Hopefully he's going to raise this one up. Yeah, good man. 3 times a big blind raise with these 7s. I think it's going to see no action, which is probably the way you want it in with pocket 7s. Oh, this will turn his milk chocolatey. Coco pops with the aces. Oh, very, very tricky play. Limps on the button. Now, is he going to play this slow? I would. You've hit top set, current nuts, now the top house. Thank you very much. Got to give Snakey a chance to catch up. Oh, come on, Coco Pops. You've got to check this. What did you put him on, a 3? Dear me. Oh, well. It's not often you get top house, and me personally, I checked it to try and give him some opportunity to catch up on the river. So we're watching a $20 sit and go here. Top 3 get paid. As you can see on the top of your screen, blinds currently at 40.80. Everyone started with 1,000 chips. And now 2 picks. Mr. TK picked shaky. Wasn't a tough one for him considering he was chip leader. And my man Bullets is doing very well for himself. Got himself up to second in chips and not far behind Mr. Snaky now.
You keep saying that. I mean, he's chip leader, but he's chip leader because he's the best player.
We'll see
That's
at the
the way
end.
it works.
Let's see who takes first place. Eh? We'll see about this at the end. I'll tell you what I'll do. If Monty gets first place here, I'll do the rest of the show naked. Everyone's going to try and knock Monty out now, just to make sure that doesn't happen.
Who's Monty?
On this particular table.
Oh, right, I'm looking at my one, sorry.
You just more of a comment than anything else. Battle of the blinds once again. Coco with the ace nine, going to raise it up, and I'm sure Matt's going to pass this.
That's some very rude comments about you on here, I have to tell you.
Well, what they're saying.
I got involved, I mustn't give anything away, I got involved with 9 deuce, which I hadn't raised with, and they said Barry would have raised with that.
Yeah, it's true. If they saw me play the other night, I was, I've re-raised someone with 5 deuce in my hand and on an ace high flop, which actually worked. And took the pot down. Was it an ace? I can't remember now. Wow, while I was talking to Tony there, I see that Matt actually did call that raise. My observation about poor old Monty was come to fruition, and he's out, or she's out, and we're now down to 5. Sorry about that, viewers, missing the play. Tony tells me that they're giving me a bit of a rub down from afar on the TV tables there, and we get back to this game. Jocko 2K with a nice double up with his queen deuce. Once again, a battle of the blinds, and something Tony and I were talking about earlier. People getting involved with, very, very marginal, and I'm trying to be, not rude here, but very marginal hands in the blinds, and Jocko's outdrawn Coco Pops with his hitting a deuce to win the pot. Nice raise from Coco Pops there in position on the button. The blind's definitely worth stealing now, 163.20. So 4-8 in your pot, basically half your starting stack in the pot every hand. So, in late position, always worth stealing. Our 2 boys now having a pop, Tony. Shaky's got the Queen 7, and my man with the bullets has the bullets.
Well, it's reasonably easy to play if you've got aces, I suppose.
Well, interesting. Does he try and trap here, or does he move in? And Shaky calls in with the Queen 7. Dear me. Sorry, you're talking about...
That's a misunderstanding. It was a misread. It was a misread.
You were talking about Snaky being the best player on the table.
Look, just be quiet. It says here, hope Barry doesn't go naked.
No, it's impossible now.
Which we all agree with that. We've seen enough flesh on his head.
Very good. Very good. Who is that?
That's our friend Snappet.
Ah, good man. Hello, Ken. How are you, sir?
Had a good week last week.
You see, he's probably on tilt still from...
You turned him over, did you?
From Monday. Yeah, I did. I've made a move on his big blind, and he's passed ace-8, then he's lumped it all in with, I think, 6-8. I've called with 5-8 and hit a 5. But he had so few chips at that particular stage, I had to call him. Sorry about that, Ken, but hey-ho. Just the way it goes sometimes. Well, while I was talking to you there, Tony, my diversion was...
So my man's back in the chip lead again, is he, after all that criticism you just made?
No, he's just doubled up bullets, and then I think he's given some chips to Coco Pops. but the blind's now 320, 640. So, you know, it's a big old lump every round now.
Yeah.
Almost 1,000 chips, and it's getting to that stage whereby it's a bit of a close your eyes and lump it in. The snake is called. It's quite a nice lot for Snakey. Up and down, lots of no good, and he's left with 73 chips. So from going from chip leader, now he's all in on the small blind. How about them apples, eh?
He's nearly got the best hand.
Yeah, I think Matt's going to be raising here with the ace with the ace-3 somehow, but he's got a shot.
He's live.
Absolutely live. Couldn't wish for a better hand in the. In the small all-in. Well, maybe aces, but still no help for Snakey. Needs to hit a queen or a jack on the river, or he's out in the 5th, and he is. So the TK kiss of death.
Well, what happened? Who's gone out?
Snakey.
Told you he was no good, didn't I?
Yeah,
I had bullets.
In fact, you're an excellent judge of character, Tony. It's good to see. Finger on pulse.
I don't think I said he'd win.
Yes. They are very slopey shoulders you have, I must say.
Oh, just when I'm playing with your money.
Yeah, yeah.
I enjoy this. Derek would love this. Derek would be nice to me if he knew I was playing with your money.
Actually, it's this Poker Night Live's money, so, you know.
Oh, I see.
I'm just, I've got to subsidise for the rest of the presenters, who most of them are losing players on the Beat the Presenter. Except for Casper, who's got a cracking record, I believe.
Very popular, Casper. If you go to the forum,
especially with the housewives.
They lionise him.
Really?
Mm.
Now, if I knew what lionise meant, I would say yes. Is it simple? Is it similar to idolise?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Yes, it's that department. Don't forget this man with the signal box, will you? Don't lose his email address.
No, I've forwarded it on to you already. So the ace on the river. Not that Cocoa Pops had done anything. Now, 3 in the money now. Looks like Jocko's pretty much done and dusted, although he's got most of his money in the chips. Yep, it's going to be an all-in battle of the blinds. My man's hit the deuce, needs to avoid the king or the jack to get it heads up, and he did, which is good. Oh, sorry about that, Jocko, but you're in the money. And we're heads up. Bullets against Matt.
Sorry. Don't use big words with Barry. He can't pronounce levers.
Levers?
That's not levers, it's levers. That's from Ken.
Ken, yeah.
Your friend Ken.
That's Barbie Ken, sure. No, look, I've got to shout my man on.
Are you going to Germany for the World Cup? It's football, it's football.
Is it football? I'm a big football follower. I'd love to go, but unfortunately I'm going to Vegas.
Did you see Mr. Crouch last night?
I did. And I did tell you what, he's...
Are we going to do an impression
Nice
later?
dance. If you could only see us on screen now, we're both doing the Peter Crouch robotic move. And actually quite a lot better than he did it last night, I must say. No, I'm not doing that. See, it was different class, actually. Thanks for that, studio, getting us right back in there. Anyway, look, we're back in just in time for my man Bullets to now have the chip lead. So heads up. Blinds now at their maximum, 640, 1280, and it's a bit of an all-in fest now because, well, the situation is it's difficult to pass, you know, a 30 stack, which Matt found a hand that he could and had to. And Bullets is really turning the screw here. Poor old Matt's found 3-6. He knows if he moves in, Bullets is going to call him whatever he has, and he has to pass. And it's going to be all in this hand, whatever the situation, unless Bullets gets dealt through 3. No, Queen 7, it'll be enough for Bullets to move in. Matt's going to have to call for his extra 239.98. Or does Bullets want to move in with this? He knows he's going to get a call or whatever he does. Yeah, he has to do this. and he has to call. Hits the queen, and Matt is in big, big trouble. And drawing dead, and bullets takes it down. So, Tony, just to draw your attention to this, you
I'm
chose
busy.
Snakey.
I'm busy.
You're busy. Right. Okay, viewers, I'll tell you. Well done to Bullets, but, you know...
My selection, I
I
believe.
gave TK the option. He chose, surprise, surprise, the chip leader in Snakey. I fancied Bullets, played a very solid game early on, moved up the gears, you know, changed gears. I picked the Bullets, man, and he come through. He come through for me strong in the end, which is the way, which I must say is the way I like to play these sit and goes. Start off early, don't get too involved, let lunatics kind of, you know, dictate the play, and as the blinds move up, change your gears up, and hopefully, obviously, find some hands along the way, which Bullets did, and done well, sir. Hats off, and thank you very much. A couple of emails here into us at Poker Night Live. One is from Tim in Hull, and hopefully, Tim, it's not about levers or levers. Okay, we've had enough of this. Anyway, hi Barry and TK. Poker Night Live may be a great show.
I'm playing.
Carry on, please.
I
You'll
just
beat
read the
presenter. Yeah. I've just read the email too. Thanks very much here, Tim in Hull. But you are from Hull, so we've got to let you off, actually. Oops. Poker Night Live may be a great show, but a pinstripe jacket on top of that tracksuit top. What kind of crazy mixed up London fashion is that? Thanks, Tim. I appreciate it.
My
You know,
sort
I
of
will
man.
explain, Tim, but you know, it'd go like my barber won't go right over your head.
The guy that comes from Hull, Tim,
Yes.
you'd be fascinated to know, this may not be the case now, but until a few years ago, Hull had the longest railway platform in the United Kingdom. You're impressed, aren't you? It's so they could load the fish, you see.
It's your turn.
Oh, sorry.
How long we got? Anyway, this is
I've
an email.
got lots more of that sort of stuff.
Please. I can see why you don't read poker books. Are you married by any chance?
No, I can't. I've never sort of succeeded or failed in that department. I have a cat.
Okay.
Why do you ask that question?
No.
What are you suggesting?
No,
I've got an anorak as well.
Really?
I've got all the gear. All the gear.
Okay. This is an email from Wayne. I'm in a multi-table tournament. I've been disconnected for a while and below average stack. I've managed to build to 7,500, but average is around 15,000. I'm dealt ace-9 of diamonds, and the pot has been raised to 700. Blinds are 100, 200. I'm not short stacked, but only 9 left, and top 3 get paid. Flop comes down, 8-8 deuce with 2 diamonds. Pre-flop raiser checks. I raise, or bet, should you say, hoping 800, hoping to build the pot in case I hit the flush. Next player folds, and the pre-flop raiser raises to 3,000, half my stack. I'm pretty sure he has not hit this flop, but probably has high cards. Worst situation, he has a pocket pair. Should I be calling his re-raise? I did call the raise, and my thinking being that I had a fair shot at it, and if I did, I was doubling up rather than getting bullied and blinded out. I hit on the turn with the queen, which was great, but he connected with his king-queen, and I doled up. Was that the correct play? Many thanks. So let me just get this right here, Wayne. You had 7,500, the blinds are 1-2. Okay, so you're not bad shape here. You've called a raise of 800, and you've hit a flush draw. Okay, with a paired board. Not so clever, but okay, we'll take this one. Now, he's re-raised 3,000. Now, me personally, if it's checked to you and you're last to speak with the flush draw, I probably would, if unless you're going to commit all your chips, I would probably take the free card. Check it, see a turn, and see if the diamond comes. Now, the nice thing about doing that, obviously, yes, you can build the pot. You can bet someone. If someone comes over the top, then you've got a decision to make. Or everyone may fold to you, which is fine. But with this kind of flop, you can't really take it that you've got an 8. I don't think, unless you're very clever, not many people are going to bet out with an 8 here. They're going to try and trap. So if the raiser's put you down for not having an 8, he's trying to re-raise you to scare you off because you may have 2 high cards or possibly a flush draw that he thinks you're going to let go. So I would have checked. If not, then the continuation bet from you is not the worst thing in the world. But when he's re-raised you 3,000, you know, you're 2 to 1. Basically, you're putting all your tournament online here. So the betting was the first mistake. I would have probably laid it down after him betting 3,000 because he's showing strength. Could easily had a pocket pair. He may have been drawing dead for the ace. It's only. What are you fluffing for? You got a call. Sorry, he wants to lay down a big hand here.
You what?
We'll see it later. It's not good. It's my money.
Whose idea was it to call?
Oh, you can't pass anyway. You can't pass. You'll see it later. He just can't pass. It's the classic Holden matchup. You know what I'm talking about. You'll see it later on. It's obviously promising. You're still in though, aren't you, Tony?
I could have got away from that.
No, you couldn't have got away from it. Anyway, sorry, Wayne, back to you. So, yeah, personally, I would have probably gone for the free card. That was the biggest mistake I think you made. After that, you've hit, you've doubled up. Great, you know. Just be careful playing flush draws to paired boards. That's what I would say. Anyway, let's quickly fly back to the cash game. We was watching a 25.50 cent a little bit earlier on, and we're going to go there right away. So let's have a look. We've got a few of the faces we saw earlier. Mr. Johan Haren, who we said was a constant winner, he pulled up. We saw him get cleaned out a little earlier. He pulled up, got up to $90, and now come back at 175. So doing very nicely. Shaky Shark still doing okay. Ace Zhu still looking good. And this is the 25 cent 50 game, so you can sit down with a maximum of $50. So you can take it that anyone over $50 is probably in a positive position. So a couple of aces here. We've got a Queen 10's fancies here as well, and 3 for the flop. Nice flop for Jack Alley. Up and down with top pair.
There's been a misunderstanding there.
Oh, the ace on the river. This is going to cause a little bit of confusion for Shaky. He may think he's winning this now with the ace. Obviously not going to fancy his kicker too much, but quite nice that SOD hasn't got much of a kicker either. It's just going to be a check, call. And taken down by SOD. Ace 10 if ace U. Does he want to play this fast, or is he just going to limp in? No, he decides to limp in.
That one. No.
Nice 2 pair for there for Jocko 2K. And a nice little 2 pair takes it down. Sorry for the periods of silence there, viewers. We're just the remarkable rockiness of Mr. T.K. Kendall is unbelievable. If you ever want to back someone in the cash game, he's your man. Anyway, back to this 25 cent, 50 cent cash game. Ooh, nasty business here for ACU. Nice check for Johan into ACU. Johan raising it on the button there with the ace-4. And why not? How many times has Johan had ace-10? It must have 3 or 4 times he's played this and been very successful with it. SOD trying a different way with his ace-10, limping in. And by limping, he's fooled Bullets by saying, you know, I haven't really got much of a hand. He fancies that he's... now this may actually cement the situation in Bullets' mind that the queen may be good here, thinking there's much less chance of an ace being out. And even more so now with SOD betting. I think Bullets is going to check call this one. Whatever SOD does, he checked. Okay, I'm sure he got something out of Bullets on the end there, but decided not to. So just let you know, watching a 25 cent, 50 cent cash game here. Live on the internet. Well, live, I say delayed by 5 minutes or so. So none of the players can watch the TV and make it very easy for themselves. Maximum sit down in this no limit hold'em cash game is $50. And the blinds at 25, 50 cent makes for quite an interesting and...
Did Bullets win that MTT?
He did.
STT?
He did,
I
yes.
thought he would.
He did, mate. I'm not, you know, I'm not going to blow the trumpet anymore. You know, it's been done. It's been blown enough. Yeah, just in case you want to get in contact with the show viewers, there are a number of ways to do it. I'm sure you know the way, but please do email, text here at Poker Night Live, myself and Mr. TK Kendall. Poker is the word you have to use within the text, and make sure you use the numbers 84222. That's 84222 on the text. And the email, poker@pokernightlive.co.uk, and we've also got the wonderful Poker Night Live website, which is, strangely enough, www.pokernightlive.co.uk. Now, we do have the Purple Poker Free Roll this evening. It's our multi-table tour. We had 166 entrants with 21 tables. Standard structure for our multi-table, 12-minute blind rises. Now, they're actually playing 3 places this evening, so you're going to have to get through 163 other players to get there. Now, actually 3 prizes, not cash, but 3 very nice prizes. A wine package worth around $1,000 for first, an iPod Nano for second, a T-shirt, CD, and $100 for third. So there is some cash available to you. So it's the Purple Poker Free Roll this evening, 166 entrants. I think we're going to fly straight through into the matrix and see what's going on in our multi-table this evening. I'm just checking here if we have the chip leader on this particular table, which we do, and I think it's our good friend Clampett.
Well, I looked at the runners before this started, and I have to say Clampett looked like...
The class act.
took the words out of my mouth.
It's not going to be the another TK special, is it? The Bock of the Almighty. The poor old Snakey had to go through it. He's done the same here to Clampett. Let's see if he can do something with his chip lead. It's funny, we've seen quite a bit of this tonight, Tony. I know you're still playing your single table or another one.
That was your fault. I could have passed that.
Look, I'll tell you what we'll do. When we have the rewind of this one, which is pretty short, we'll let the viewers decide whether or not you could have passed that particular hand. I don't think so. Was you really going to pass? Honestly? With my money?
With your money, no.
No, exactly.
Not with your money.
There you go.
Well, we'll talk about it later, but it's possible. It is.
You're right. Every hand's possible, but, well, maybe. Anyway, back to our Purple Lounge free roll this evening. 166 runners. And I believe we're down to about 35 players, so on the last 4 tables or so. Sorry, there's 36 on 5 tables we're looking at. Two big hands here, JG with the pocket tens with raise pre-flop. And Euler with the ace queen. Not much there besides a gut shot. Draw, and JG takes it down.
You haven't lost that email address from that signalman, have you?
No. It's been flagged. Flagged? No, okay. I'm trying my best, I'm trying to get into the,
Yeah.
And actually, I'll tell you, just quickly going away from poker for a second, sorry about this, viewers, but I actually went to a Thomas the Tank Engine day out with my son.
Well, that's just silly. That's just silly.
I did.
That's not proper trains, though, is it?
It was trains. It was trains with little plastic faces on the front.
Yeah, that's...
And you know what? There were still grown men there with no children.
Yes.
And all of this is a 4731. It's quite interesting. I got covered in soot as well. They're very dirty things.
Beautiful things.
Yes. But Battle of the pocket pairs here. Both scary balls for both of them. It's really going to be who's got the bottle now. The nice thing about it is Clampett's got position and he's got the chips. So if he can muster a bet here, he may be able to take this down. Circle all in there with the ace-4. Got a little unlucky. Pungio hitting his 6 to knock him out. Getting close to the last 4 tables here in this Purple Lounge Mouldy Table Tournament. But quite a long way to go here. We've got only top 3, and that's the top 3 getting prizes this evening. And just to let you know, it's a wonderful wine package worth around $1,000 for the first, an iPod Nano for second, T-shirt, CD, and $100, and a blankety blank. Oh no, sorry, that's the wrong email. And a T-shirt, CD, and $100 for third. And for fourth, same as 166th. Not much. He really wants to check his jack-eye flop. Very strange. Now probably want to bet now the ace has come down. Sure Clampett's going to get it. Wow. The minimum raise from Clampett. Don't know what he was trying to do there. Maybe he felt that Julia was a little weak. Is he bet enough here to try and bluff this one on the end? I don't think so. I think he's going to get a cooler here with the 2,000. I'd certainly call. Yeah. So the blind's 6-12 now. Black Rat with the limit raise with his pocket queens. The ladies there under the gun. And why not? Can't see too much business from around the corner. Before our very eyes, Julia wants to call now with his 2 unders. I think we saw this exact same scenario a little earlier on. Someone had, in the cash game, someone had pocket queens, and that young lady from Barry Island called with a 10-8. And also called a raise on a bet on the flop when it comes 7 high, which was remarkable. queens. Not a bad flop for queens, only one overcard and up and down for Black Rat as well. Yulia wants to call now with the bear 10 and no draw. Black Rat's made the straight. The flush draw possible, but decides to lump it in on the river. I don't think any bet would have got called there, really. Except the all-in, which Yulia did call. Most very interesting indeed. You've got me. It's a very strange call. The only thing they could have been beating was a complete bluff, which was, looking at the betting, was extremely unlikely. Wow. 1, 2, 3 man decides to get very lucky with his Jack 10 after Pungio. Pungio moved in with the 8. Well, Pungio's raised with the Ace King. A re-raise from 1, 2, 3 man with the Jack 10, and poor old Pungio got it in with the best of it, and it's come runner straight for 1, 2, 3, and a nasty suck out. But maybe because, you know, maybe it's a free roll. People are just treating this as a bit of fun with only top 3 getting anything out of this one. There you go. So we're going to be back very shortly with the Purple Lounge multi-table free roll a little bit later on. We're going to just go through one thing. We had an email a little bit earlier on about multi-table tournaments. I think it was from Double Top, who was saying the value of playing super satellites for World Series, etc. I know, Tony, you're still playing, but I wouldn't mind touching quickly on playing extremely big hands in late situations. When I say late situations, I mean very deep into a super satellite.
Well, I mean, very simply, you're not trying to win the tournament.
Exactly.
All you're trying to do is get your seat. There may well be 6 seats, 7 seats. So if you've got plenty of chips and you work out what the blinds are, how long it's likely to last, you don't have to play a hand.
No.
Many times I've seen people pass aces and kings without even seeing a flop. There's just no need to get involved. Play it different, whatever you do. It's a different sort of poker.
I was in a great example, actually, in Las Vegas. I had 1 chip left, 1 chip, which was not enough to actually make the small or big blind, and the big and small blind would come around in 3 hands' time. I actually got dealt Ace King under the gun with 1 chip. Okay, the very next hand I was going to be in the big blind. There was 1 person to go out to get a seat. Okay, the seat was worth $5,000. I looked over, 2 guys all in. Threw it away. Very, very simple. The funny thing was, both guys stayed in, okay? I'm all in on the big blind, win my big blind, the guy goes out on the next table, I get my seat with
wow.
Now with 3 chips, or 2 chips I had. But, you know, it's all about just survival in these super satellite multi-table tournaments. And like Tony said, sometimes you have to pass aces and kings and very big hands because you just don't want to get involved. In fact, there are times when I've just got up and walked away. Just got up, walked away, gone out a cup of tea, whatever you need to do, and just let other people knock themselves out. And you know, trying to be table policeman when you've got all the chips in a super satellite is not the way to go. Let me tell you. So that was just to end up the double top argument that we had a little earlier about super sats and the way to play them. Now we're going to go quickly over to our first segment of phone in. Mr. Roy the Boy Brindley coming up. We're back with the Poker Night Live phone-in, and I think on the other end of the line we've still got Roy, the boy Brindley. Roy, how are you?
Good form, thanks.
Good. Now, we spoke about Showdown Poker Tour and EPT, etc. before, but the Blue Ribbon's coming up, the World Series of Poker. Obviously you're going over. What events are you going to be playing this year, Roy?
I've played less poker this year than I've played in the last 5 years, to be honest. I was there too long last year. I was there 7 weeks, and I was just totally burnt out after a couple of weeks, and although I managed to come back in front, I just felt like a robot. So this year the plan was to do things a fair bit differently, but the way they've scheduled this thing again, it looks like I'm there for the long haul. The ones I want to play is the 10,000 Omaha, the 1,500 Omaha. They're the do not miss events. The main event, obviously, and just a couple of supporting events, a couple of $1,500 supporting events. If I was given the choice of playing the 10 grand Omaha or the 10 grand Hold'em, I would play the Omaha every time.
You say that, but it's probably... I actually was lucky enough to... I've been there for a number of years, but walking around the 10,000 Omaha last year, it was probably the who's who of poker. I know you was there as well, TK, and it was an unbelievably hard field to play in.
There's a lot of dead money in there. You know, they're saying the who's who. Take the top 50 faces out, there's still another, 250, 300 nobodies. And I say that with the greatest respect, but there was a lot of numpties in there that were playing Omaha as if they were playing Hold'em, and so much dead money in there. Getting chipped up in that tournament is probably the easiest thing in the world. Even
at a 10 grand buy-in, there are people that are not really that kind of proficient at the Omaha game?
Yeah, I mean, pretty much so. Last year in the main event, Hold'em tournament, we sat down, talked to the guy sat to my left, and he said he wanted to play here for years. He hasn't got a home game. He doesn't know how to turn on a computer. He's not come to the internet, but he decided this year he was going to treat himself. And this is the first live game of cards he's ever played, and there he was sat down at the 10 grand entry Hold'em event. And that's what you're up against. People want to say they played in the World Series, and they think Omaha, just because it's the same rules, that trips beats two bear and so on, it must be easy to play, and they're very wrong.
Well, yes, that's a good point, actually. TK, you saw the Omaha. It did look like a tough field last year, didn't it?
It did to me. The guy that hadn't played before, Roy, was he the one that busted you?
I was going to say, you tried to bluff him.
No, he wasn't. Let me tell you my Omaha story last year. In the 1,500 event, I was playing...
Roy, this is a bad beat free zone, by the way, just let you know.
No,
okay?
it's not a bad beat, but I was playing real tight cards, and bit by bit, tables are being broken and tables being broken, and I look up and there's only 3 tables left, and I thought, Christ, I'm nearly at the final table of a World Series event, and I've just been playing tight conservative cards, and I am final 3 tables, and with that the guy comes over and he chucks some cards on the table and says, you're being broken up, and I looked at him and thought, well, there's still 24 players, how are you going to get us into 2 tables, and I pick up the table seating card he gives me, and it's table 77B, seat 5 or something. I said, where's table 77? And he points over into the distance where there's another 50 tables and says, you're over there in the main area now.
Nice.
So that's how I got down to the final 50 tables in the Omaha anyway.
Nice story. So yeah, you're going to play the Omaha events. So you're going to go out pretty much for the duration this year?
I might well go over and come back. The thing is, Ladbrokes Poker, my sponsors, are sending across 100 players, and they're going to require a fair bit of babysitting, reception parties. We've got a lounge there. I need to go out, 2 or 3 days before they arrive and stay to the end and then some. And just the main event itself this year with so many starting days, and it goes on and on and on and on. It's a 3-week job in itself, and to take in the 10 grand Omaha as well, I'd imagine I'll be there for 5 weeks.
Wow. And what... how are you going to prepare for this? You're going to, play more poker online or try and play some more live events before you go to kind of hone your skills, or you're going to take a bit of a break before you go over?
Do you know, all the snooker players, I've had a chat with most of the snooker players, and they say, how do you prepare yourself, and where do you practice, and how do you practice? And, it's just not one of those games. Snooker might be, darts might be, but poker's not a game that requires practice. You've either got a game in your head or you haven't. And the key to it is, will you turn up in the right frame of mind and make all the correct decisions and moves? You've got it within you, but unfortunately that's most people's downfall, is not playing to their best of their ability. I seem to play best on the back of a break.
Roy, I'm sorry, we're gonna have to go to a break. The sponsors, we've got to obviously pay for this show, so we're going to go to our sponsors. Roy, thanks very much for joining us, and we're going to see you after the break here on Poker Night Live. Hi, welcome back to Poker Night Live. I'm Barry the Bully Martin, joined by Mr. Tony TK Kendall, still beavering away furiously in this second...
Running over this table. It sounded good though, didn't it?
It did, it sounded really, really positive. I'm glad to see it. And it's my money, which is always even better to see. And we're going to be watching Tony's games a little bit later on. fraught with interest and fun and frivolity,
I
and a couple of interesting hands as well.
Yes, I accept no responsibility for that first one, though.
No, indeed. He nudged me and said, what shall I do? It's ridiculous. Anyway, look, I've got an email here from Snowblind. Snowblind, thank you very much for sending in this email. And it's one of those, I think the online poker situation is rigged, which we'll get to in a second. You're going to hear a stock answer from me because we've had lots of emails regarding this. But let's go through what Snowblind has to say. Hey guys, I'm sorry to send you this, but I believe that the internet is codswallop. Very technical term, Snowblind. I keep rewarding people's terrible play. All the bleep bleep time. Doesn't matter what you start with, aces, kings, queens, you get taken out by people with 2-3, 5-9 and stuff like that. I'm sorry, but I've never ever seen hands like this in live poker, which again leads me to believe that the internet is not a random card. All the one-outers that are hit are just plain nuts. I know you're going to say, what comes around goes around, blah, 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 but I'm sorry, it doesn't. Live poker rules. Well, I agree with that one, and amen to live poker. It's just so much better, but there just isn't enough live poker to fill the day with. I would quite happily play live poker for hours upon hours. And great show as usual, guys. Keep up the good work. Love from Snowblind. Well, Snowblind, you know, poker is fixed. Oh, sorry, online poker is fixed. Sorry, my friend, I don't agree. Now, let's talk about the random number generator that actually goes into giving you cards when it's when the hands are dealt out. Now, there are two different methods of random number generators working out the pack as the hands dealt in on the online poker. Okay? Now, the first one is a very simple one. The computer shuffles the deck and keeps the cards in an order that is dealt out, so it's a predefined order before the hands actually are worked out. And there are others that are slightly advanced random number generator, which actually shuffles the pack every time a single card's dealt out. So you get one card, shuffle, another card, shuffle, another card, shuffle. So basically, they worked out that to break the kind of code that runs this random number generator, the second one, it would take every computer on the globe about 10 trillion years to work out the code to try and break it. So yes, it's breakable, but not at this time, I would say. So random number generator, yes, they do work. And fixed, come on, ask yourself, why would online poker companies want to fix online poker? Okay, now let's take, we won't mention any names here. Let's take the biggest player in the online poker business, okay? Now, they're a publicly listed company on the FTSE 100. They're worth billions and billions of pounds, okay, with thousands of investors into the company. They make, and this is City verified numbers, around $2 million per day in rake from us, people like you and me, playing online poker day in, day out. Now, if there was one iota of nasty business going on, you know, one, people would find out about it because they have audits being a public listed company, and that's the way they work. And two, why would they want to jeopardise it? They've got thousands of online players providing them $2 million of rake per day. Is it fixed? No, it's not fixed. You know, is it random, and do you run into, you know, nasty runs? Yes, you do. We all do. You know, I've had bad runs of cards whereby I can't win a 50-50, a 60-30, even a 4-to-1 shot on a regular basis. That's just form, my friend, and that happens to all of us, unfortunately. We have good days, we have bad days, and that's why poker is a great game and why we all love it. It's because it very much mirrors life. You know, some days it's high, some days it's low, but over the piece, over a long period of time, you'll find that luck comes to us in equal measures, okay? And I'm sure that you know, if you feel like this about poker currently, give it up for a while. Take a break. Go and, go, I don't know, crocheting or knitting or do something else to chill out, relax for a bit, and come back when you've kind of got rid of all those negative vibes. And I think you'll find that poker is a very rewarding and great game that we all enjoy. So, Snowblind, thank you very much. And please, 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 do give poker another shot, because I'm sure you'll find that, it will all even itself out over time. I don't know if I know you're still playing, TK, but you got anything to add to it?
Everything I find it very odd, but everything you said I agree with. I would just add the one thing, which is that if you've got aces or kings, and this guy that calls with 5 deuce or 7-9, and you could see the cards before the flop, do you want to take him on with your hand or not? You do, don't you?
Of course you do.
You're delighted when this man takes you on with a heap of rubbish. And 9 times out of 10, he gets turned over, you take his chips and say, thank you very much. Now and then he outdraws you. You want him in. Bad calls are good. Except against me.
Who would make a bad call against you?
Well, there you go. This is a bit grim here. These blinds are getting a bit big. Don't start taking a mick now.
Anyway, great email, Snowblind. Hopefully it's kind of, shone a little bit of light on the situation for you and, kind of relax the mist a little bit, and so you can see through the current forest that you have in front of you in regards to poker. Anyway, Snowblind got in contact with us. I'd like for you to get in contact with us here at Poker Night Live. A number of ways you can do this. It will be coming mysteriously and by magic upon the screen there. There's the text number, 84222, that's 84222. Make sure you include the word poker within your text to the studio. Email, there's the email address for you. And the good old Poker Night Live website, full of great stuff, lots of pages, loads of forums, great topics, threads, etc., etc., etc. Now, TK's still playing his second one, so we're going to quickly watch his first one, so I can give him a bit of a rub down while he does my $30 in the first one. Now, I've obviously given it away that it goes out kind of fairly early, but you'll see why. You'll see why. Anyway, this is, I think it's the first hand, is it? See, right, it's the first hand, and now, don't be confused, okay? Barry the bully down there, it's not me, okay? It's Mr. Kendall. He's playing as me because he hasn't got a cent in his account, okay? So, and as my account's overflowing with the funds that I've won over the last, few months, he decided to play with my account. So, there we go. Limps in with Queen 10.
I've made myself available for you now.
Are you out?
No.
Okay.
No, not at all.
Nice start. You're chip leader if you take it down here.
I can't remember this.
It's the first sign of Alzheimer's,
What's that?
Short-term memory loss.
I read that somewhere, but I forgot it.
So, chip leader, how's it feel?
Magnificent. Are you sure I was sat in that seat? I don't remember being sat there.
Well, hold on. Let's take the evidence. It says Barry the bully. You logged in as me, sitting right next to me for the last, about an hour and a half, 2 hours ago.
It was a while ago.
No, it wasn't. An hour and 10 minutes ago. I lie. Let's have a look around the table. You've got Snap It, who we know very, very well. Johan Haren, another good player. Morrison 24, that famous supermarket. Yeah, not the easiest of sit and goes I've ever seen.
I might have been sat there.
No, I can actually confirm.
No, it's rigged. I'm sure they've moved my seat.
Online poker's rigged.
Yeah, I read it somewhere.
Yeah, I read it. Must be rigged. So what we've got here, got a couple of pocket pairs, Sonny Greco with the 10s, Johan with the 7s, but more importantly, Mr. Greco has got position, and a better hand, but with 2 overcards, I'm sure they're not sitting overly comfortable. I think Johan will let this go, such an early stage of it, yep.
just really letting the field sort itself out.
Is that what you're trying to do here? Thin the
Well,
field?
just see who's doing what. You know, I fancied this guy had kings here. I put him on somewhere between queens and kings.
Well, after a limit raise and then 100 raise. Yeah, you're a different class. You didn't call this, did you, hopefully?
Absolutely not.
Good man. H2O Stefan Coulter with his A7. That's not exactly the most long-term winning player I've ever seen, I must say.
Yeah. I think what you're saying is you should pass it or raise with it.
Yeah, I thought it was a bit of a donkey play. Well, raise with it, no, but definitely donkey play.
Well, you raised with a lot worse hands than that, let's be fair.
Yeah, but not when I've been re-raised pre-flop in such an early stage of the competition. There's times to get aggressive, and I don't think that was, you know, calling a raise was then. It was not one time to do it.
I quite like the cards I'm getting here. I'm getting
Jack 7, you like this?
Well, I'm getting stuff that keeps me out of trouble, and that's fine. That'll do me. I don't get tempted. I'm not going to mess around, and just give me time to watch. These two guys just tittering amongst themselves here with Jack 6 and King 10.
Well, to be fair, he has got top pair.
Yep. Oh dear, I hope I don't limp with these suited ace. Oh, goodness me, I certainly hope I don't limp with it.
Especially when you've got pocket nines right behind. Oh, dear me. We try and tell people on this show, don't limp with, you know,
when I
don't
was
play
thinking about playing this, I thought, I just said don't limp with these suited aces, and I limp with it. Do I get out? I obviously pass here, like a passing thing.
Lucky you've only done just 20 chips. Oh dear. How does Johan not go skint here? Can he not? I don't think he can. I can't get away from this.
No.
It's all manner of hands that Snap It could have. Oh, he's played it tricky. Could there be a scare card? Is that a straightening card for Johan?
Yeah, I mean, to talk about a scare card, sometimes you say, OK, there is a scare card, but I want value here. I've got the chance to double up.
Yep.
You know, what sort of straighting cards could have he had that he would have raised with here? On balance, let's take a chance. Let's turn a dial up and go for maximum value. Try and get every one of his chips. Even now, it's takes a bit of putting down. They can only say there he's up against two pair. Perhaps over bet on the end.
Did well not to go no skint there, I must say.
A lesser player calls. Some players can't pass that hand.
No. Top pair for Snap It.
Still keeping out of trouble.
It's funny. It's quite ironic. I was playing with Snap It the other night in the Beat the Presenter, and I had pocket nines against him, and he had pocket jacks, and the flops come. I think 9, 10, 6 or something like this, and he managed to lay it down on the flop. I put a little tickly bet out. He's raised. I've re-raised him, and he's passed.
Smelt you.
Well, I thought it was an amazing pass. And I showed it as well, just to say, wow, you know, tremendous laydown. So just to reiterate here, Tony, this is the longer structured one, is it, where you get 2,000 chips?
This is the grinders.
The grinder, yeah, which would obviously
which
suited you.
Which obviously suited me why I done so well. You interfered with me.
Well, it's allowed. You're over 18.
You definitely. I could have got off this.
Well, let's
wait until it arrives.
yeah, let's just play the hand out and let's see what our very learned
Isn't it as two
viewers.
guys with the same hand, and who gets it? I'm still getting keep out of trouble hands. I'll live with this stuff.
2-9, yes.
Oh,
It's Christmas, isn't it? You must be able to get on here.
I think we get a little bit.
I think you've got to come out there. He's going to bet it, and I'm sure you're going to have to raise this with such a weak pair, two pair.
I believe I do raise it because
Yeah.
they're actually hands I can put down here. Yeah, I've gone 1 with 1.
Okay, and Snapper's now thinking you're having a bit of fun and games with him. Doesn't believe you.
I
And
think I actually call him here.
the next bet.
Yeah.
Oh dear. Not the greatest guy. It's going to slow you both down.
Well, that's the point. The hand is saved because I don't know if I get off that hand to be not against that player, and I don't mean that rude, but the player is a good player. He's going to seize on weakness and take things. So I don't think I can get off this hand, but the flush slows everybody down.
But you don't see Ken snap it raising and re-raising with the flush draw, do you?
Correct,
So
correct.
you can't. The 5 and the 3 are pretty, you know, pretty kind of off the radar cards that you kind of got to feel that your 9 deuce is still in front.
Yeah,
Tony.
it hasn't changed. That's my view.
It's
But-
not as like it's come like a running 5-5 or
but
something
I don't
like
bet
this.
on the end.
No.
You know, that's when you bet the 200 to get greedy, and the fella then moves in on you. Oh, you know, this is when you get caught. So let's take it what we've got. Very fortunate.
And I think on the flop you could have another raise there would have probably got some more money out of him.
You know, the gentleman just wrote in and said, you know, internet poker's fixed. That's a live hand. It's an internet hand. You know, 2 live cards versus 2 live cards. It happens, and that's the beauty of the game. If it wasn't like that, it wouldn't be a beautiful game.
One point we didn't make to Snowblind was that internet poker, you see so many more hands per hour than you do live that you are going to see more situations. That's, you know, that's a simple statistic that we overlooked, but it's absolutely true.
I think what it boils down to is, and I don't mean it's rude, but you've got to learn to take your beats. If you've got aces, they're going to be beat 1 time in 5, 1 time in 4.
Yep.
They're going to win 4 times out of 5, so they're going to lose 1 time out
Absolutely.
of 5. You know, you just got to accept that they are going to be, technically speaking, they'll be bad beats because you went in ahead. But it's going to happen again and again and again. And so it's best to get used to. Take it like a man. I think I just made a little...
Interesting bet.
King Jack.
Yes, why not?
I believe you would have done the same in that position.
I do like the bachelor hand.
Is that what it's called?
Go on, you can ask me why is it
No,
called
I'm
the-
not.
Okay.
No, I'm not going there.
Okay,
I
good.
don't like the sound of it.
This is a family show that's repeated in
Correct.
the daytime,
Yeah.
so be careful.
No, I think in that position it's reasonable. If the fella comes back over the top, we can
Absolutely, you've not committed all your stack. You've made a sizable raise, and
claim a misread and get out of it.
exactly right.
I hope I let these paws go. Yes. When there's been a raise and you've got a small pair, you know, you can re-raise, or you can pass. I don't think you can call.
No.
Not in a million years. Oh dear. Now, I think I make a good pass here. I obviously didn't know where I stood at the time, but I've raised it up with this king queen, I'm fairly sure. I think I've assumed that they're kings. Yep.
What did you make? 119?
Yeah, just mix it up a bit. Just give them something. Just while I'm thinking about it, the clock ticks down, and you know you might gain some ground.
They might time out and pass his ace king, which was never going to happen.
But this guy re-raises, and I then claim a misread and get out of the way. You definitely can't call the... To me, there's nothing wrong with the play there. It's a correct raise and it's a correct pass. I hope I do pass.
Yeah, king, queen, looks pretty, a lot of paint, but against you know, a little bit of heat, you have to be getting rid of it.
It's right to raise.
What do you want to
right
see on the
go.
flop with king, queen? You just don't know.
My worry is I might find a king or a queen, because if the guy's got ace king or ace queen,
you're in a world of hurt.
What sort of mess am I in? So I think, strange enough, I played that right. Have a probe, get out of the way. I don't take much pushing off, you see.
I've heard that.
You don't know how much weight to put on people's ability, but the guy that re-raised me was out of position. Now, you know, that's a good thing for me. I'm in position, but if he's re-raised me out of position, you've got to say to yourself, he's got some hand here. There's a wide range of hands you can probe with, and king queen's one of them. But I think you have to be able to swallow and say, okay, I'm out of the way.
Good flop for Snap It here. If I've got jacks, I'm feeling pretty confident about this with the double king 6 flop. Well, you know Johan hasn't got kings.
I have to say that's a very transparent play, but he's hoping these guys don't read it that way, but he isn't possibly betting out on that flop with a king, is he?
Well, it's not as though it's like a king 6 that they're suited.
No, there's no.
Yeah, it's an easy call for
nothing.
these boys. And Snap It now is thinking to himself, what's going on? Wow, he's going to be gutted when he saw them hands turn over Snap It.
Oh my goodness, poor Ken. Poor Ken.
See, if Sonny Greco doesn't call there, then I think Snap It will call. Because it looks obvious that he hasn't
got a problem though, because he's worried about Snap It behind him. That's why he's just called, I think. He doesn't know where he stands with Snap It.
No, because Snap It could have easily, you know, checked in that position with King Queen, or you know, a hand that's beating his.
And so that was good night, Harim.
Yep, we picked him out as one of the hot tips, but out first.
Oh, you did.
I mean, at the top of the show, we actually picked Johan out as one of the long-term winners here on Poker Night Live.
That's true. What have we got? Is that 4-5 or 4-9?
4-5 you got there, Tony. And Mr. Supermarket raising it up. Late position, why not?
Well, I get saved from doing anything silly by... does he limp with that ace king?
He does.
Good lad.
Quite tricky all
Good
dear.
lad. That's what I like to say. A bit of creativity with that hand.
And H2O Stephen was having none of it in the big blind, just checking his ace queen.
Yeah.
Now he fancies a bit
more than
of
any other hand online, ace king is played by most people, I think, badly. You can almost... It's almost as if they had their cards face up. At any stage of a tournament, many online players will simply move all in with that hand. And then you've got the decision, do I want this coin flip or not?
Yeah.
I mean, if I'm playing the first level of an MTT with queens, and I know the guy's got ace king, and he sets me all in, well, you're going to call in a flash.
No?
I'm not sure I am.
No? I'm going to try and avoid 50-50 shots.
Correct. We don't need races, because we think we can outplay them.
Yep.
in smaller pots, working our way up.
But it's very difficult to put someone on ace king. They could be making this move with you against queens or jacks. I mean, tens or jacks. So, you know, it depends what kind of player. If it's a very aggressive player that's, you know, moving his chips around and stuff like this, then you could have him dominated.
Not on blonde. They know they'd respect me.
I'm talking about, you know, a random player, online player that doesn't know you.
I'm famous. They must
I know
know
you're
me.
famous.
They must know me.
You're very famous.
Good grief.
You've been around the block a number of times.
So everything is going cool here. I mean...
Yeah, you've wangled your way into in the top 7. 4 more players and you're in the money.
It would be awfully embarrassing to go out 7th, wouldn't it? I'm pleased to say I don't think I do. I really want these cards to keep coming, these rubbish stuff, but just...
You can pass your way to the money.
Well, you know, I can save my ammo for later. I don't need to get involved with this junk. I know there's an argument about being aggressive, and I'm certainly not aggressive enough, but there is a lot to be said for patience. There really is. A gentleman of my acquaintance played an online competition last night with 30-minute levels. What's that equivalent? Sorry, 20-minute levels. What's that equivalent to in life?
It's like a
poker?
2-hour clock.
Okay, he went 3 levels without playing a hand.
Wow.
Think about that.
Not a hand.
Not a hand.
Not even in the blinds.
I don't know about that.
Maybe
I imagine
not one aggressive move
correct.
or something.
He didn't call a raise, and he didn't make a raise, so he may have just made his blinds up. But he never played a hand in 3 levels, which is equivalent of at least 3 or 4 hours live play.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the result was he went out 293rd. Sorry, Tom. Sorry.
How many starts though?
Seriously, the competition I think was 219 runners. You know, some nights hands don't come, do they? And you wait a while, and then you have to get creative.
I know I've played in some of these bigger kind of Sunday night, very large, like $200 or $300 buy multi-table tournaments, and you know, you could sit out the first level and lose half the field within the first say hour.
Correct.
And you've only done 3 or 4% of your stack.
I have to say I get great satisfaction on that, to look at that lobby and see that a third of the players have gone and I haven't done anything. I think it's wonderful. Yes. Right, now the proper players are left. Let's start playing. That's the way I look at it. You know, these...
Or some chipped up fish.
Yeah. So I'm establishing a sort of dominance by passing here. I'm passing with great aggression.
You're passing it really well.
Yeah, I'm passing it with a vengeance. But I'm getting very nice passing cards.
See, we've talked this up quite well. The people are waiting for the big, the big showdown.
Well, we haven't done anything creative, it has to be said, but at this level, at this stage, with 2,000 chips, there's no need to do anything creative. You know, sometimes one has accidents early and have to play some exotic hands, but...
Absolutely.
Yeah, there's just no need at this stage. Let's just wait a while and see what happens.
No, blinds are still very small, 40, 80.
I used to play a lot of sit and goes. I mean, a great deal of them. And, you know, essentially, there's lots of ways of playing them, but essentially I wasn't really interested in playing. These were 9 table jobs. I wasn't really interested until there was 4 or 5 players left.
9-handed?
9-handed, yeah. Pretty well sat out.
Greco's
I suppose
built himself a nice lead here.
That's not a bad strategy actually in the sit and goes, because you find yourself 4 or 5 handed. The blinds are still pretty small.
Bear in mind, unless you're playing with people you play with regularly, you've now got very, very solid image. So your first few moves should get through.
Yeah.
The problem was I was playing at a level where essentially the same players were playing every night.
Right.
And so they knew you play. But, you know, if you mix up the tables and you haven't played for the first 4 levels and it's down to 5 people, you know, it takes a bit of a hand to call a re-raise from you. Mm-hmm. You know, if you're playing with half-decent players, you should get a couple of moves through. The point is, players take themselves, in my opinion, players take themselves out unnecessarily early.
Was there much? I heard you vigorously tapping away. Was there much chat going on this table?
Yes, plenty of chat, but to be fair, most of it was about you. You're like me. You're an object of some affection, shall we say?
That's good.
Yeah, in the night, affection is in inverted commas. There were several references to your ability to use long words, like 6-letter words.
Levers.
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 Levers as you read it, levers as it reads, yeah.
Anyway, look, if you're interested about how to pronounce the word levers or levers, you can get in contact with us here at in the studio, which you've just seen flash in front of you at the screen, and we're back in vision. So we're going to quickly go back to the single table and watch the big showdown that's coming up very shortly. And be
what have I done here? I've
flush draw.
my flush draw and got rid of everything.
So no. Up and down from King of Ying.
I hope he goes away.
Yeah.
This is a re-raise by me.
Although 5-6 off against your 2 overs and the flush, you'd want him in, wouldn't you?
I would, but he doesn't know that, does he?
Well, you don't know that he's got that, put it that way.
I have to say, I was surprised they both passed. I was surprised the guy in C1 passed. But it turned out he had no hand, did he? He was at it, busily at it. So everything is going swimmingly here. We're establishing image.
Oh, trouble hand for the TK.
Well, I might just surprise you here.
Well, you could play it any one of 3 ways.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't be surprised at any one of them, actually. A limp, I could understand.
I could have just about
You could have easily folded it.
Each of 3 ways.
But
I
a
decided
raise,
to make a probe.
Considering your very rocky image currently, I think the raise is a fair shout.
Well, they've all got merit, to be fair. You could defend any one of the
With ace-10, that's right.
Yeah. Bear in mind, it's a 7-handed table, so it's really ace-jack and a half, ace-queen almost.
Yeah.
If he comes back up at the top, we'll let it go.
So really, the cards make no difference.
Well, it's very interesting you should say that. Mr. Chan said the same thing to me.
Yeah.
He said, I'm not interested in the cards, so I'm interested in the players and the position.
Yeah.
But you can take that too far because, you know, the guy calls you.
You can only go so far with no hands.
Yeah.
Put it that way.
Once they've been shown down a couple of times, particularly if you haven't moved tables, then it's time to go to plan B.
Yep.
No.
Could this be
I have to say, I played this...
Look, let's analyse this very closely. Blind's 81.60. You're going to make, what, 3 times the big blind? 500 to play, something like that? You're not going to limp with it, for sure.
No.
555, there you go. Now, poor old King of Ying, sitting there with the ace-king thinking, oh,
You see, that 5, I'm trying to convince him I got trip 5s.
Yeah, that's going to be a tough one.
Yeah, before the flop it is.
He's moved all in. Now, you can pass it.
Let us be honest here, what actually happened.
Yeah.
At this stage, I'm starting to think about this.
You've leant across to me and going, oh, what shall I do? In a quizzical kind of look. And I'm saying, look, you've got queens. What? You've got to lump it in. No, pass, I said when I see the flop, but no.
I don't think it's an automatic.
Out to the viewers here. Can Tony pass his queens?
Let's put it this way. We are sure we know his hand. We are sure he's got ace-king.
But you're not. He could be making that move with jacks.
He could. Well, you know, if he is, then we put the hand down. But
as far as I'm concerned, I think he's got ace king, and I've got. How many chips have I got?
700 left now. So you got a playable stack.
No. After I'd raised,
You made it 555.
1600.
You did.
Okay.
There's another 1,000 to call.
With blinds at 8160. I've got 10 big blinds.
Yep.
You know, there is a tactical decision to make there. Do I want to have this race? I could be walking into King's races, actually.
You could, absolutely.
Do I want to have this race at this stage? And to me, you know, I know people are going to be shocked at this, but to me, it isn't an automatic call.
No.
It just isn't.
No.
And you came across and said, "You've got a call."
Because it's a quick sit and go. Then you know.
I would, to be absolutely fair with you, you can argue this one either side.
You can.
Nobody's necessarily right or wrong.
Look, say if it had been the other way round, you got ace king, you raise, he's got the queens and comes over the top. You're going to call with the ace king now?
Oh dear, this is a bit. So I'm down to 540 chips. I wisely let this go, I think. There's an argument here for calling for value, for the treble up.
There wasn't much value though, is he, really, with one overcard to the jacks. In fact, the king-queen's got a much better hand against the jacks.
No, again, it's one of those hands I'm thinking, they're going to laugh here if I pass this, but...
No, you did
know,
nothing wrong.
We do want value, but I would be more likely to call for the treble up with 7-8.
Yeah.
That sort of hand. Live cards. I don't think my cards are live. As it happens, they were seriously not live.
So yeah, just quickly going back, ace king against the.
Well, again here, ace 8. A guy moves. You've got your last 461 with blinds at 8160. Do you call with ace 8 for all your stack?
I don't.
Probably not, because it's almost an ace race, isn't it?
You've got an orbit going round here, so you can wait. You're on the button. You've got a number of hands to see that you could get your chips in first and having to call off your chips.
I would rather move with some piece of junk
Me too.
first. Like 9-3, for example.
Stick it in with
Call
9-3.
ace 8. This is a fantastic play.
Well, you know you're going to get looked up.
Oh, I'm going to get looked up. Goodness me, how did the guy behind me pass? Yeah, I'm a bit unfortunate there in a way.
Well, you got live cards. There's nothing wrong with that.
No, that's given my stack, and I
look,
hit.
you've hit the
I
nine.
hit.
Marvellous stuff.
I'm still in front.
Thank you very much. Bring home the bacon and that. Oh dear.
Just when we was counting the chips. Well, it's all about that queens versus ace king.
Well, okay, let's talk about it then. Okay, you've got the queens, right? We've done that. You said you could pass it either way. Say if you've got the ace king, you make the raise 5-5-5, and king of king comes over the top. If you've got ace king, does that make any difference to your play whatsoever?
With the ace king, if I make it 5-5-5 and the guy behind me moves in, I get out of the way. I'll fight another battle.
Are you saying that you can lay ace king down easier than queens?
I could have laid the queens down.
No. What I'm saying is, can you lay the queens down easier than the ace king or vice versa?
I lay the ace king down easier.
You can?
Yeah.
Purely on the statistical basis that you think you're behind ace king against queens 45-55, that kind of race?
Against any pair, let's forget aces and kings, against any pair, I'm a slight dog, aren't I?
Yeah.
Now, this depends how many chips we got and what stage of the tournament we're in, but there are many stages when I have enough chips and enough time to say, why do I need to go and play bingo and stick all my chips in and hope the dealer gives me the right card? I can actually, I think, outplay these guys. I can play as well as any of these people. If I wait my turn, be patient, pick the situations nicely, I can go a long way in this competition. Now, I can either build my chips slowly in little pieces, little bite-sized lumps, bit at a time, tickle, 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 or I can say, I'll tell you what I'll do, why don't we take the shortcut to the top? Let's lump it all in with one hand and hope the dealer gives me an ace or a king. You know, it's two ways of getting there, isn't there? The youngsters might say, yeah, we'll have to gamble, because I can go and play another comp. I'm not sure it's the right way. And the point is, online, that's the way these guys play this hand, isn't it? Ace king is an all-in hand every time.
The reason, but I defend the ace king move on a lot of occasions, because the ace king against a pair, has very little value when it's played just to the flop. Statistically, you're only a 50-50 situation against queens if you see all 5 cards. And that's why when you see the stats on the, you know, you watch the TV poker and it says ace king 48%, the queen's 55, 53%, 2%, whatever. Now that's taken that you see all 5 cards. But if you play it in a constructive and a more cultured manner with the ace king, you call a raise with ace king, and you see all 3 cards, you're a much bigger dog against a pocket pair.
Yeah, there's actually another way of looking at ace king, which a very, very accomplished player of my acquaintance, when we were talking about ace king being even money shot against any pair, he said, oh no, it's not. It's a lot better than even money. And I said, no, there's the figures, work it out. He says, no, if you work out the number of times that people will pass to your re-raise with ace king, in effect, it's actually a 3-to-1 shot, or a 2-to-1 shot, or whatever. But it must be better than 50% because you've got to take into account all the times that the guys pass to your re-raise.
But again, that doesn't matter about the cards. If you're going to re-raise, you could have 2-3 in your hand, and they will lay down pocket tens to you. And it's all about the strength of your bet, using your chips as ammunition against another player. And if you feel he's only got a medium pocket pair, then that move the ace king's going to work more often than not.
Yep. Well, in that position there, I have to say, in that sit and go, if we're playing for proper money and it matters to me, after I made that raise...
Hold on. Proper money and it matters to you. It was my money.
That's the whole point. It was your money, not mine.
Just think of all the extra, 00 gauge railway train set you could have bought.
Hornby.
Is it the Hornby you buy?
Hornby 00.
Yeah. Do you get the little kind of, foam
Don't be taking the Mickey. Seriously, I hope this is not going to cause too much controversy. If we're being serious now, I think I can lay that queens down and I'm not embarrassed about it. Because I think there are plenty of other pitches I can fight that battle on at that stage of the tournament with the chips I got. I can lay it down and I often would.
That's what's nice about the 2,000 stack single tables. You can make moves like that. You can raise 500 chips and let it go and not have made the incorrect play. Now, you could come back to watch the tournament. The guy made a move with jacks against you. Good luck to the guy. If he wants to commit all his chips with jacks, he can make that move.
Let me make this argument or debate a little easier. And I know what you're going to say now, because you felt undoubtedly I had to call here.
Go on.
Yeah.
No,
you did. You said you got to call.
Look,
right.
I looked across. You've got pocket queens.
Yeah.
And someone's re-raised you.
Yeah. Okay. Right. We can clear this argument ever so easily. You got your seat for the World Series, $10,000. Sit down. Wow.
Hold on. Now we're talking about a 10,000 chip stack.
It doesn't make any difference what the competition is.
Okay.
We raised it up with queens first hand. Blokes moved in on you. Now, what are you going to do? I know what you're going to do. You don't even have to think about it. What you actually do to show off is you turn your queens over and say, yeah, there's my queens, mate, I pass. You don't have to think about it, do you? You don't think for a flash of an eyelid.
Okay. So if you've got kings in that spot, first hand of the World Series, you raise, guy moves all in.
If it was the first hand of the World Series and I raised with aces, the bloke re-raised me, I might even pass that. You know?
No, you wouldn't. Yes.
I'm a rock.
Yeah.
I might pass it.
Well, there's an argument we have on the Gutshot forum, right? We talk about this is an age-old argument on the forum. I'm sure you've had it on Vlog forum as well. People talk about what they would do to lay aces down on the first hand of the World Series. Now, I took this argument, as you know, we go out and do some interviews with some of the top players. I asked Gus Hansen, Phil Ivey, Greg Raymer, Moneymaker, Lane Flack, Matusau. I asked all of them.
You didn't ask me.
I didn't ask you. You're right. You was busy.
All right.
I asked all of them, OK, first hand of the World Series, you're in the big blind. 5 all-ins before you and you've got aces, what'd you do? Do you know what they all said? Call in a flash. Not one of them would think about it. I said, but overall, you're not actually...
Overall, they're not favourite. They're favourite against each of the hands, but they're not favourite against the 5 hands.
But you could be drawing, there might be a pair of aces as well out there against you,
yeah.
Which is, leaving you pretty short for any outs. And there may be some other ridiculous hands like pair of queens and pair of kings, etc. But they would all call in a flash because the overlay to have that many chips in the first hand of the World Series is enough for them to gamble, and it is a gamble with 5 all-ins.
Can you imagine having a 6-tuple up on the first hand of the world. Just imagine how much fun you would have.
And how much strength it would give you in the very early stage.
That's the whole point. I played the 1500 last year, managed to get lucky very early. And for 4 or 5 hours, I had the ability to bust any player at any table. Wonderful, the power.
Nice, isn't it?
Oh, it was one of the most enjoyable days of poker I've ever had. And we've gone from 870 players to 200 players in like 9 hours. But everywhere I moved, every table I went to, because I'd had this early good fortune, I could bust anybody. Wow, how much fun that! So yes, if
how much
5 players went all in,
win?
I think it was 4,700 or 7,000.
Where'd you finish?
31st, I think.
Ah, that's not bad.
No, I was very happy with it, to be honest. I was thrilled. Even better, I got outdrawn the last hand, so it gave me an excuse for losing.
Ah, bad beat corner. Guess what I went out on? Blah, blah, blah.
No, I loved it. Loved it. 1 from 1, WSOP cash finishes.
Not bad.
Thrilled to pieces with it.
What event was it? How big event?
It's 1,500. Bear in mind, you guys are going to Vegas for the first time, and I'm sure we're going to be talking about Vegas a lot. Bear in mind that in the World Series events, essentially, the buy-in value is how many chips you get. So a lot of us want to say, okay, I can only manage the 1,000. That's as much as I can afford, and you know, so
1,000 chips.
1,000 chips is all you're going to get. So your first confrontation, certainly your second, has to be successful. If you get involved in a re-raise situation and it loses, you're in serious poo. You're playing a 1,500.
That's a technical term, Tony.
Yeah.
Serious poo.
Yeah, it's in Sklansky. If you're playing a 1,500 comp,
he's full of serious poo.
you're going to get 1,500 chips. The 10,000, 10,000. It is worth bearing in mind. To my mind, I want a stack to play with. I don't have the sort of game that I can, you know, really be very confident with 1,000 chips. I don't know about you, Barry, but I really don't want to play too many $1,000 comps. That's 600 quid, is it? Where I only get 1,000 chips anywhere under any circumstances. I just don't want to.
Something else that Neil Channing actually said to me. Neil Channing, you know, you may not have heard this name, but he's made the money. He's made the money 2 years in a row in the main event, which is no insignificant feat, let me tell you. He says it's funny. People have this idea that they play these $2,000 and $3,000 events and they get 2,000 or 3,000 chips, and they think to themselves, "I've only got this many chips. This is not." But you can play pretty solid because you've got to remember they're at 1 hour levels.
Yep.
Lots of play. The blinds start at 25-25, then 25-50. So you've got 4 or 5 levels before you really start having to get too busy. And he says there's no need to start getting out of shape with ace, queen and jacks and things like this. You can pass these hands and wait, build up a stack, and let these idiots who think the 3,000's not very many chips, let them bang away, go to war with these filthy hands, and you can wait.
The gentleman that Barry's talking about, his middle name's a Bad Beat, Neil Bad Beat Channing. If I'm not mistaken, and you and I were there at the same time last year, Neil actually laid down kings pre-flop last year in the main event. He didn't get shown the opponent's hand.
And it's a strange old hand because I actually was watching it at the time.
Take it up.
He's made it 150 to play. He's got one call around the black, and the guy's moved all in for like 30,000 chips. Now it looks like a monster overbet, and he's sitting there with kings. And you know what? It took him about 3-4 seconds. He went, bin. I can wait. I don't have to get involved with this joker.
This is the same, I admit it's different level, but this is the same as the Queens versus Ace King tonight.
Very similar.
Different level, though.
Anyway, let's take this back. We've got some emails to come back. We've got your second sit and go, which we're going to watch. Back right after the break. See you very soon. Welcome back. I'm Barry the Bully Martin, joined by Mr. Tony TK Kendall. It's late. It's been 3 hours of non-stop teacup, Kendall.
It's past my oval ticking time.
It is indeed, but you've got a nice cup of tea on the desk.
I'm sorry, that's real professional.
Yeah. Last hour of the show, what we've got for you? We've got a few emails to read out. We've got your second sit and go,
my second
which
attempt.
I believe you're slightly more adventurous and a little bit more successful, which is
slightly less failuresome. But I don't get advised this time, that's the difference.
all depends what levers you use.
Yeah, levers. There's some nice emails too.
We have. Should we read Snowblinds out? Snowblinds come back to us after us talking about online poker being fixed. Okay, it says, "Hi guys, one thing I will do is never give up poker." Well, that's good to hear, Snowblind. I'm glad that it's not phased you so much that you want to give up the game. "I love the game far too much to ever give it up. Sorry for the outburst, but as you said, I've been going through a very, very barren patch. Maybe it's that I'm too good for my level of play." Now, sorry, I'm not laughing. It's not a bad idea actually to think about that you are at a particular level of your play, and maybe you should move up a couple of levels. Maybe that is the case. But maybe that I'm too good for my level of play now. And do you think this could be a factor in people's bad decision making, or does that happen no matter what level? Well, of course you find some very inexperienced players at every level, whether it be the micro level 2 cent, 5 cent games, even up to the 50, 100, 200, 400 games, you get some pretty poor players. But if you find that you're getting outdrawn, maybe you're playing too low a level. I don't know what level you are playing. If you want to let us know, I'd love to hear it, Snowblind. But if you are playing maybe a small cash game, then think about how your bankroll is, and if you fancy moving up, give it a go. Maybe even have a look. Move up a couple of levels and have a look at the play that's going on these tables. If you're playing, say, $1, $2 no-limit games, look at the 3-6 game. See if the play's improved. If these players are playing a little bit more solid and something that you'll find a little bit more comfortable playing at that particular level.
I'd just say 3 things there. Firstly, if you recognise people are making bad decisions, that's excellent. If they're making bad decisions, you'll come out in front. Let them make bad decisions. Pray for them to make bad decisions. Sometimes they'll outdraw you, but I think you're remembering the outdraws rather than the wins. When you get an easy win and you laugh, that's the time that matters. So if they make bad decisions, that's a good thing. Secondly, worry about your cards. Don't worry about your decisions. Don't worry about his decisions. Worry about your decisions. They're the important ones. Thirdly, here's a fact for you. Laugh all you like, but it's true. If you go in ahead every time you put your money in, you will be a winning player. It's as simple as that. That is a fact. Going ahead, doesn't matter if this guy calls you with 5-2 and wins now and then. You go in ahead each hand, you'll be a winning player. End of story. All right, Barry?
There you go, Snowblind. Top quality advice from Mr. TK Kendall there. Yes, of course you want to be getting ahead. And if you keep doing that, then you're making the right decisions. And as I said, I believe luck comes in equal portions to everybody. So over the period, you will be a winning player. So persevere, my friend, and it'll all come good in the end. Right, another email here from Nosy Boy. He goes, "Evening, fellas. Great show as per usual. I'm playing the WSOP main event this year for the first time with a sponsor from my online poker site." Well, good for you, sir, and congratulations. I'm sure you're going to enjoy it immensely. Anyway, currently the biggest buy-in I've ever played is a $500 internet game with 1,000 players finishing second, and a part-sponsored $6,000 live event with 350 players, which last year which was the Caribbean Poker Classic. What is the best strategy to tackle a $10,000 buy-in with 8,000 players? I appreciate this is a tough question to answer, as every table and game is different, but if you have just a few pieces of good advice, I'd very much appreciate them. Regards from Nosy Boy. Well, we've only got an hour left of the show, Nosy Boy.
I'll give you a one-word answer. Enjoy. There's one for you.
And I would say, Nosy Boy, it's going to be very, very... Look, you play some bigger events. One line that actually Eric Big Dog Lindgren told me, the blonde fella who plays a lot of the events, had a result at Aruba recently in the World Poker Tour, etc., etc. One thing he said to me about the World Series of Poker, and something the pros say to themselves in the back of their mind, especially in the first day, don't go broke. That's the thing they're thinking about most, is don't go broke. Now, you may think, hold on, a pro thinking don't go broke, but that's something that, obviously you can't recover from going broke in the main event, because it is the big one, it's the blue ribbon event, it happens once a year, but they're really trying to hold on to their chips, and they just want to survive the first day. Even if they survive and they only got 15 to 20,000 chips, which you may think is wow, doubled your chips, but it's not. You've actually fallen behind the average stack, because you're going to lose probably somewhere like 60, 65% of the field on the first day, maybe even more of that. So don't go broke. That's what I would say. And You know, be prepared. Something else another player said to me is be prepared to lay down big hands. The bigger the buy-in events, the bigger the hands you're going to have to lay down. And sometimes that means you're going to have to lay down aces and kings to a 10 high flop, where, you know, you've bet out, two guys in a pot, re-raise, re-raise. Your aces are no good in this spot. You know you've come up against a set. You're going to have to lay big hands down and bide your time, be patient, 90-minute levels, 10,000 chips, crash king structure, be patient, and as Tony says, enjoy it, play your game.
Yeah, if you're not going to enjoy it, and if you're not going to be able to play your A game, and you obviously have a game which you wouldn't want to see, if you're not going to be able to do those two things, then here's something the purists will hate. Sell your seat. Turn it into £7,000 and play 7 main events at £1,000 in the UK, or 14 main events at £500. You know, that'll last you for quite a while. You get a great deal of fun out of that. If you're not going to play your game and enjoy yourself, don't go. It's a waste of time. You've got to be on your A game. You've got to be very, very good at your game. You've got to be very fortunate to get through 8 or 9 days. So if you're not going to play your game and you're not going to enjoy it, don't go there. The other way of looking at that is enjoy it. Make sure you're comfortable with what you're doing. You're very lucky. I wish I were playing it.
Don't sell your seat. He's a cynical old poker player. Don't sell your seat. Play seat. Look, you don't get the chance to play against Tiger Woods in the US Masters. You don't get a chance to ride the top champion jockey horse. I'm not much of a horse racing. You don't get a chance to play at Wimbledon, but you can play the main event of the World Series. And you've got a chance to, you've got a seat, go and play it, have fun. You know, I'm sure £7,000 is a lot of money to all of us, but, you know, this chance may only come round, you know, once or twice in a lifetime if you haven't got that kind of bankroll. So play it, have some fun, and hey, hopefully you can bring home the bacon.
I'm not saying don't play it. I'm saying if you're not going to enjoy it and not going to be able to play your A game, then don't play it.
Okay.
That's a controversial one. Move on.
Indeed, you'll be lambasted on the forum tomorrow.
I'll be drummed out.
Yeah, indeed. Anyway, look, we've had some great emails tonight. We want to see some more in the last 50 minutes of the show. And on the screen, as you see in front of you, you'll see how to get in contact with us. Bit of email for you there, poker@pokernightlive.co.uk. That's poker@pokernightlive.co.uk. Got the text coming up. There you go. Make sure you include the word poker when you use your mobile and text to the studio, 84222. That's 84222. Right, let's go straight to your single table tournament, Tony.
This is me, is it? This is.
I think so. I think it was a $10.
No, it was more than that.
Was it a 20?
It was.
No, it was a 10. You was going to play the $2. I said, don't be such a tight git. Go and play the 10.
It was your
it's
money.
my money.
I
exactly.
wanted to play as much as I could.
Oh, hello.
We've
Jack 10
we've
against
lost somebody.
We are. We're down. You're in good. Look at this. You're chip leader.
Well, of course I'm chip leader.
Because obviously we were waffling on before the break.
Why do
We
you
should have
be
been
so
watching
surprised? I'm not only chip leader. I've got more than double my starting stack. I've been carving my way through this field. I don't know how I got all those chips.
Well, if I remember rightly, you had a big all-in coup with Ace-King against pocket sixes.
Oh, yeah.
And it's come Queen Jack 4, Queen Jack. Do you remember? The poor old sixes is
I never hit.
nuts.
Yeah, that was.
I think it was Ryman, actually.
That's almost cheated, isn't it? That's when your pair gets counterfeited.
What does he expect with pocket sixes against a complete rock and roller like
that's
you?
Very sad. So blinds, we picked this one up a good way in. Blinds are 40-80. Bear in mind, everybody started with 1,000 chips. And with 7 players left, the average is 1,200, just under. And so really my tactics here are to take it easy for a while. I've just been interfered with by Barry for a moment. Barry's finished with me.
Just tickling your mic.
Yes.
No, you see, you've gone to the toilet and you put your mic on upside down, and the other way round. So we couldn't hear your dulcet tones enough, Tony. Sorry about that.
They could probably hear it too much. So really, tactically, with this stack, the blinds going the way they are, you can see the 4 people behind me are all a bit thin. So this is quite interesting. There's lots of ways of running at this. We can get very aggressive now. But there reaches a situation quite soon where I find that I'm actually handcuffed a little bit because...
You can't make a move on these boys because they're going to get a call.
This is the problem, you know. If once they come over the top, I'm stuck with it now.
Yeah.
I can't mess around. Any sort of dodgy move I make, if they call me, I'm in a bit of a hole. If I make it 450 and this guy with 620 moves in, what am I going to do? I have to call him. So it's a nice situation to be in, but in a way I'd rather have some big stacks behind me. Money moves around the table to the left in all forms of poker is something that we're told many times. And I think
it usually stops at the better player.
Well, it's never reached me, that's the problem. It stops before it gets to me for some reason.
That's why I say it stops at the better player.
Oh, I see.
No, you'll find that it stops at the more solid player for sure. I know it's really tough to get, you know, when a good solid player's got a lot of chips, I know it's very difficult to get it off them.
Yep.
But I'd much rather have him have them than some lunatic that's going to take me on some mad gamble.
Well, there's plenty of lunatics done well down the years.
A lot more have gone skint, Tony.
Yes. Rocks go skint as well, but the lunatics tend to
Rocks
go skint
do go
quicker.
skint, but it's a lot slower bleed.
Yes.
So here you've got what, 2, 4, 6 players left, and you've got 3 shortish stacks. Not much point really getting too busy. I know the blinds are 81-60. I know you've only got just what 11, 12 big blinds, but you've got enough to just let them all kind of capitulate around you.
It's a bit of an odd situation, but I think you have to review where you are in a game, and reviewing where I was in this game suggested to me that tactically I needed to sit on my hands for a while, almost literally.
You got to fancy yourself for a cash finish anyway.
Absolutely. There's 3 guys behind me that can't pass to any sort of raise, so I can't get cute with them. The chances are they're going to take themselves out, and it's going to end up with 2 or 3 big stacks. So unless we find the right sort of hand, just keep out of trouble for a while. And, you know, doing nothing is a good thing.
Absolutely.
Doing nothing is, sometimes you can sit there forever.
The fold is a strong move in poker.
Yep. Here we see Buffy had a bit of an accident there. Stevie 72 played extremely well. He's got his chips as well.
So one less player you've got to worry about with...
And I still have this very awkward situation with the 2 guys behind me, both having stacks that are unpassable to any raise. A pot raise here is 500, shall we say.
Yeah, 163 times, was it 480?
And
so,
now a guy with 930, a guy with 620, and now whatever move I make, if they go all in, I'm stuck. I'm going to have to call it. There is a school of thought that says if you've got a big stack, then you should bully anyway.
Well,
you know, take these
1700
shots.
is not that big a stack anymore, is
no,
it? It's only
not
10 big blinds.
8160. In fact, we get a little bit thin soon, but as fortunately we find some monsters. I think poor Ryman's going to be caught here, but he hasn't got any moves left in him. If he does but know it, he's in great shape.
Oh, he's absolutely got
huge.
Balrog.
He's huge.
Balrog UK absolutely monstered if he calls here, but Queen 8 to a raise all in for all your chips is not something you want to be facing.
No. Balrog's again furniture on the forum. Posts a lot. Very incisive stuff.
Wow. King 4 and he doesn't want to move in.
What's he waiting for?
Well, you're not going to find too much more than that Ryman to be moving in with.
Well, you see, there's the spot there. There's been no action. I think the hand had to...
Maybe you should go back to selling pens and pencils, Mr. Ryman.
Very good.
Do you like it?
Are they still around?
Ryman's, oh yes. don't think Ryman's going to be passing his way into the money, does he? With 2 players left. He's not going to be able to see the blinds round now. They're 163.20.
Sometimes you just have to shut your eyes. What happened there?
He folded.
He folded that
Folded out
quickly.
turn.
He folded extremely quickly.
Yeah.
Almost as if he didn't have cards. A friend of mine in this situation, when they're low stack, they said that when they're looking for this spot to move in, that they will not look at their cards for fear of chickening out.
Look at we've been berating him for being too patient, and he finds queens in the big blind. He'll probably get a double up here because I'm sure Aramir's gonna not.
Well, I think we have to make an assumption. We've been unfair to Ryman. Now, this happened last week. We've been unfair to Ryman. Ryman is disconnected.
He must be.
And we don't have a graphic here that tells us that. You know,
It's good to watch, though.
Yeah, well, I think the criticism was
Poor
out of
old-
order. Because
poor
he
old
wasn't doing anything wrong. He was just frantically trying to get his broadband to connect again.
Yeah.
We're saying he's passing, and that was most unfair.
Yeah, we understood that, but poor fella. Now he's absolutely dominated. He's now all in.
Yeah, he probably at this stage that he disconnected. He's on telly and he disconnected, and he can't get his.
And now
PT to
now we've
work.
got to take him through the agony of him seeing the cards that he had.
Yeah. At this stage, the computer's probably gone through the window.
Walk.
Walk. That's what I like. I think move here. Oh no, I can't move now.
Yes. Not a big favourite, especially now with the king. Ace or a 5 for Balrog,
Or a 3.
or in the money.
Or 3.
Or the 3, obviously. Oh, done, my friend. In the cash.
Bruised.
So, what you done tonight? You done what? 33 the first time, 11 round here, so 44. So you need to get second to get my money back.
I thought the first one was 100.
I'm glad it wasn't. No, it's 30 plus 3 it was.
I hope you're right. Now, I really want these two guys to take each other on now. I just do.
Well, no, you want Steve to win this.
This is a perfect situation for me.
He can only hit the ace now.
This is one of the horrible things when you want a guy to get knocked out. You
Yeah.
never wish anybody ill at a poker table, but you think, I hope you get beat.
You want to get your 2 chip leaders to go to war all the time.
I hope you get beat, mate. And so now we're heads up. And
Second, I might, looks like I got my money back.
Yeah. Well, blinds are 163.20.
Yeah, been like that for a while, so not going to last that long.
Arguably, I've got to go. The problem I had with that flop, if we can just have that 6-2-6, it wasn't a flop I could move in on. It wasn't.
Not really.
If it hadn't been a paired flop, I'd
You could have
definitely
moved in.
move all in there. Definitely. I doubt if he can call. But once it's paired, I've got a lot of problems. It's not. I'd be trapping with it, you see. And that's it. I had to pin my
Club?
my life on my
Tour or club?
I had loads of outs here.
Well,
But
tour or club.
That wasn't one of them. Well, there's how
Well,
many?
consider-
17 clubs to come.
consider-
5 deuces. You have to exaggerate a little in your mind. You have
Yeah,
to give yourself some hope.
Okay. Not
That
bad,
was all
though.
fairly ABC stuff.
It was. We missed the big coup with the ace king against the pocket sixes, which got most of your chips.
Yeah.
Where it's come queen jack, which is always handy to counterfeit the sixes. But second place.
Yeah,
Can't
the hand played out in that he had raised and I re-raised, and I re-raised too much to get off it, rightly or wrongly. He then moved over the top, and because of my re-raise being sized the way it was, rightly or wrongly, I'm now committed to the hand. You can't let go once you've re-raised. I've re-raised you. With that sort of stack, you say, okay, well, this might have been a mistake, but I have to call. The guy's got sixes. I never hit, but 2 over pairs come. Sorry, fella.
You hate to see it. It's fixed.
It's
fixed, I tell you.
Snowblind, you're right.
Anyway, speaking of Snowblind, we've got an email in here from Red Dog, who's actually commenting on Snowblind's initial email. I think we'll quickly cover it before we go to the multi-table tournament. So he goes, this morning gents, how are you? Quick word, if I may, regarding Snowblind's online poker is fixed post. I started out as a live player, and when I first played online poker, I couldn't seem to make it pay. It took me a while, but eventually I came to realise that online play is a little bit different from live play. When you play a live game, you have to get washed and dressed, have a shave, drive to the card room, pay your entry fee, and after all that, if you make a bad call after the rebuy period, you're on your way home. This, I might add, after making yourself look like a prat face-to-face in front of real people. Very true. Now, compare this to online. You can sit there in your underpants, don't have to drive anywhere, and if you bust out on a silly call, you can just buy into the next tournament. You will also find, in general, a larger percentage of dead money in online tourneys. People with a few hours to kill, plenty of money and little knowledge of the game. Half the field has usually disappeared by the end of the first hour. This is all great news for the serious online player, but there is a price to pay, namely outdraws. They will happen, and they will happen more often. It's not fixed, but it is different. You need to adapt your game. Red Dog, I think it's an excellent email, and hopefully Snowblind was listening to understand that, you sitting there in your pants, obviously playing very solid, but there are some guys and girls out there that, you're right, got a couple of hours to fill, going to move their chips around in a non-rock-like fashion, shall we say, and you will get these outdraws. But as we said, we want these people in there because it's great. Bring the fishes home. We like dead money in online tournaments.
This advice here from Red Dog comes from a man that I don't know any people in online tournaments who have made more money this year. He spent a lot, but I know that his 5-figure wins in online tournaments come to probably $100,000.
The six figures.
Yeah, that much. This man wins plenty in online tournaments, so his advice is good. He spends plenty as well, but he's one of the few online tournament players that's making a good, solid profit. So, words from a winner. Wise words from a winner.
WWW.
There you go. How good was that? Tom McCready, that is, by the way. Mr. McCready.
Mr. McCready. Wise
Nope.
words, mate. Thank you very much. And hopefully that's put to bed Snowblind's conspiracy theory about online poker.
Yeah, I think, let's not be unfair on Snowblind. I think he wrote the second time and said, look, yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry I bloody sounded off, but I'd had a bad night and I've done my chips and I get fed up with these bad players. But I think, that tells a tale. You've got to... The most important thing, particularly when you're playing online, is learning to deal with adversity, if you like. When things go wrong, you've got to be able to deal with that mentally. You've got to be able to say, that was the last hand. It rained yesterday, so what? Can't change it now. Let's just move on. If you can't keep your equilibrium, if you can't keep cool and calm, I have to say to you, you need to do something about it because it will affect your game. And when you're actually writing up and saying, oh, it's fixed, I know it can't be right, it's affecting your head. A, you're not enjoying the game. B, it is affecting your decisions. So you don't need a poker book. I think you need another sort of book that says, wait a minute, how do I keep calm when things go wrong? It's no different in poker as it in real life. Sometimes when things go wrong and they go around, oh my God, what am I going to do? It's the same in poker. That doesn't do any good. Calm down. It's happened. Nothing will change it. Let's move on and let's see if we can battle back. Battling back from an accident is very, very satisfying. You've got to get rid of that getting upset. It does you no good, honestly. Helps to be old though, because you get a bit calmer.
I'll leave you
when
with an
you're old.
Eric Cantona style quote.
Oh,
if
no.
it's raining in your poker world, take an umbrella.
I thought you were
Anyway,
mentioning
straight,
seagulls there.
no, that's enough of that. Okay, that's the final word. Let's go to our multi-table tournament, the Purple Lounge Free Roll. We started with 166 players. Last time we saw it, 20-odd players left. And we're down now to the final 7 players, which is great. So our chip leader there, Clampett, who we saw about an hour and a half ago, is currently shortest. See, the TK Bock once again.
How many chips they start with?
1,500.
I'm struggling for the numbers there in a minute.
I can tell you one thing. Eddie Boy 23 is the chip leader. Just to quickly go over exactly what happened this evening. As I said, we started with 166 players in this Purple Lounge free roll. Only 3 places are paid this evening, and 3 very nice prizes they are too. First prize will be winning a wine package worth around $1,000. Second gets an iPod Nano, and third position gets a T-shirt, CD, and $100 into their poker account. So 3 very nice prizes in this Purple Lounge free roll. And as I say, top 3 getting it, and all
I
to play
think
for.
they must have had 3,000 chips. I can't make these maths come right. If there was 166 runners, I can see better part of
What's 400? Be 400,000 chips in play.
252, 252, 270, 320, 400. I can see nearly 500,000 chips on that table.
It's quite a lot.
Yeah, well, if there was 166 runners and there's 500,000 chips, they must have had 3,000 chips.
There you go.
Yeah, 3 166s. Would that be right?
Okay. I'll take your word on it, Tony.
So,
I'm only getting, my producer's shouting in my ear saying, yes, it could be 3,000, it's 1,500. But,
so the
words
average
of,
chips,
words of wisdom.
The average chips are therefore 70,000.
Currently.
And, currently. And the big blind is 8,000, so that's 9 big blinds. We can see that King of Anglia is thin, as is Clampett, Shriran, and the Lisa Ray.
Well, no one's really out of the woods here except for 1, 2, 3 man and Eddie Boy. But
Not with blinds at this level.
No one's really out of it.
When you get into this situation late at MTT, the thing to do is not get despondent and not be impatient. Wait for your position. It is amazing how fast it can change. You can go from last to first in a couple of hands.
Mm-hmm.
So don't despair and say, "I'll blow it. I'll just have to call with this hand, with this ace-7." Try and be a bit creative. Get your chips in first. If you've got live cards, you're not much of a dog. If you moved in with deuce-3 or deuce-7 first and got called by ace-king, ace-queen, ace-jack, you're just not much of a dog. So don't give up. But I think you're better calling. You're better moving in with a bag of spanners than calling with ace-7, ace-4.
Absolutely.
And
I'd much rather move in with 2 random middling cards like 6-4 than move in with like ace-9, because if you're going to get a call, you usually find yourself someone invariably.
You think Clampett might have got out of trouble?
The ace is dead. Yeah. Won a nice little pot. King of Anglia.
Gone back to Great Yarmouth, presumably.
Or Ipswich.
Could even be Ipswich.
Lowestoft.
No, you'd never get to Lowestoft. Have you ever driven to Lowestoft?
It's a horrible drive.
Oh my goodness.
Driving back's nice though.
Yes.
Oh, sorry.
They're wonderful people. It's
any
just,
Lowestoftians out
there's
there?
no road there though, is there?
No, it's the A12.
I believe Lowestoft is the most easterly part of anywhere that's easterly in England. Eastern England.
Really?
Yeah. I think it's the most serious. I think it's the most easterly
point of the British Isles.
Yeah. The bit that sticks out to the right most. I could be wrong. He's going to get a map now and prove me wrong. But it hasn't got the longest railway platform, I can tell you that.
Oh, please.
You're really interested in this. Look at this. Queens, trip Queens, against the full Wilson. That's
Clampett fancies a little...
He fancies the full Wilson here. He thinks he's ahead here. Not today, mister. So, 1, 2, 3 men.
Blinds are up as well, 5-10.
Yeah, 5-10. Even chip leader has only got...
Nest
11
Point
blind.
in Lowestoft is the most easterly point in Britain.
How impressive was that?
You are very, very, very impressive.
If you was on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, or Mastermind, and that was the $1 million
Could you be my
question,
phone a friend person?
if they asked that question, phone me.
I know it now.
It's impressive, that, wasn't it? It just takes such a long time to get there, doesn't it? Just while this MTT is building up to its inevitable climax, I've been off my forum all this evening, and I've just heard that a very good friend of mine and a very, very popular guy on the circuit, Barry Neville, is in fact unwell, and he's waiting for some tests and stuff from everybody where we are, from everybody here. Bazza, you great big Waz, you'll be all right, mate. We're with you. Everything's going to be sound. Barry went to, I hope you know Barry Neville, he went to the World Series last year. He's a bluff Yorkshireman, shall we say. Sheffield sort of man. He had his baseball cap on backwards. And Vinny Vin, you know, he was messing around Barry, he kept raising Vinny Vin says, who are you? It's Barry. Well, you don't say this to these big Yorkshiremen, do you? He says, my name's Barry Neville from Sheffield. Who the F are you?
But Vinny Vin's about 3'1".
Yeah, well, Barry's 3'1" wide.
Yeah.
Anyway, he's got a few problems at the moment, and he's posted tonight. He's got to have some tests and stuff. Keep your chin up, fella. We're with you all the way. You're going to be sound. So,
Clampett's a bit of a roller coaster ride. Got the Queens, made a little move with 7-4, picked up this one, up to nearly 90, well, just over 90 grand. So you put yourself down as a bit of a train aficionado, would you say?
I appreciate the finer things in life. I think steam locomotives, bridges, mobile cranes. These are all things that can get me excited in the nether regions. I think these are the things that turn me on.
Do you know the longest station platform in England?
Oh dear, I said Hull before, didn't I?
Yeah, no, you're wrong.
It used to be Hull.
Okay.
Where is it now?
It's in Gloucester. 602.6 metres long.
Good grief, why is it that long?
I haven't got the foggiest
There must be
idea.
a reason, mustn't there? we better watch this poker, we're going to get in trouble if not. We're going to get people
I'm just trying to gauge the depth. Gauge? See this?
Gauge? Oh my
gauge the
goodness.
depth of your knowledge.
I don't think that's right. So, Clampett and 1, 2, 3 men. Nobody knows where they are here. First to bet takes. Difficult bet, flop to bet out on though.
That'll do.
Yeah, it's a feeler. If he gets called or someone comes up, he lets go. But first to bet, we'll often take in that situation. But it's nice to have that stack to do it with. But that's how he got the stack, being brave. Very, very, very many pots. You don't notice when you're actually playing, but an awful lot of pots are there for the first person to make a move. That's why Thuy does so well. He doesn't care what he's got, he bets.
Needs some help, and he's got it.
Wow, how much help is that?
Oh, that wasn't no. The 7 on the river. Counterfeited the 4 over cards to their kickers, and
that was a little unfortunate.
Yeah, well,
He was always ahead,
he was.
but he looked like he was going to get a split.
Yeah, when 3 overs come to the 7.
I don't know what the odds of that being a split are, but he's going to press something now and find out.
I've got my calculator in front of me. So it was ace 3 against ace 7.
On a 4 over card, flop and turn. That's the point. Give us the turn as well.
Okay.
Which was another queen, I think, or something, wasn't it?
Oops.
Some
Yeah.
sort of biggie card. So the Lisa, while Barry's got his pencil and paper out, doing mathematical equations here, He's got a pencil and a rubber, and he's beavering away. We're down to 5 players here. What price is split?
Split,
After 4 cards.
86.36%. It was a bit of a bad beat. I'm sure Clampett will thank us for
Well,
that.
you get that. It's 86%. If you've got aces against an underpair, you're 4 to 1.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're 80%.
4.5 to 1.
But it's almost the same odds as that. Then,
Yeah.
You know, and it happens.
Does? Of course it does.
You mustn't get upset because they speak. Disappointed, yes. Upset, no. It was always to be so that your aces were going to be beat.
Always part of life's and poker's rich tapestry. Just like that 6 on the turn.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3 man's got a bit lucky here.
Oh, Clampett's called. Is he calling to bluff?
Well,
He may be just. Big pot. 72, a big bet. What is he? What did he check for? He called 12,000 on the turn to check it on the river. Did he think his jack was winning?
was he drawing to something?
No, there was no draw for him. He was only trying to hit his one of his cards to pair. It's a very strange play.
How do you play these 8s here? Oh my goodness!
Carefully.
I don't
It's a
think
nice flop. You can lay it down now.
I don't think you get another chip out of me here.
No.
Strange game. We go back to Dewdrop or whatever his name was, Snowdrop. Pair of 8s has been turned over by Jack 3.
Yeah.
It could have been worse because the guy with the snowman got out of it, got away from it. Still Eddie Boy and 1, 2, 3 men dominating this, but SHRDN is coming into the game. Clampett, a name I recognise, I think probably from Poker Night Live, from being regularly on these tables. And how do you pronounce it? Delay Serre in seat 7.
Delisere? Delisere?
I think it's...
Derriere?
Yeah, okay.
We'll call it Dealey.
Well, we've got Clampett with top pair, and I don't think...
No. 8 high flush is not good enough for Eddie Boy. Decides to...
Because he could be drawing dead. He's actually found an opponent that's got a lot of chips. There are better spots to get all your chips in.
Sheridan with the jacks. Minimum raise into
Minimum
1,
raise
2,
with
3.
jacks. There's play for you. He's gone 1 with 1 with jacks. But it might work. This fella might just...
it may work a lot now with hitting a 4.
Caught a bit of this as well.
He may just get paid off here. If he puts him on 2 big cards like Ace King, Ace Queen, something like that.
So there's been a bet and 1 with
wow.
1 against. Played that nicely.
Big
It was a
laydown.
it was a nice flop for the jacks as it happened, but
Yeah.
I don't think I can play jacks that way at this stage.
Scary. Scary cards, the jacks.
It was a very fortuitous flop for jacks, to be fair. If any overcard comes, Ace, King, Queen, and someone bets into him, he's not going to quite know where he is. Having said that, he hasn't lost much, if that does happen. He's got Ace Jack now. If he plays this, he raises more. Oh dear, Ace Jack against Ace 6. With these blinds, Clampett might have a lunge here. Just made up. Maybe with a view to a re-raise. Oh dear.
He's hit some lucky outside Clampett, to be sure.
Yeah, that's it. He's married to it. Nice play. He ignores
very
the 8
lucky.
and the 7, says I'm okay.
Comes
I
the other
think
way
I'm
round and
ahead.
comes the ace, Clampett goes out.
1, 2, 3 man passes the full Wilson.
It's funny, we've seen a couple of players go out. Obviously the average chip stat's gone up, but still even the chip leader's got less than 10 big blinds. Which is just, in fact, Eddie Boy winning that pot takes him his stack just a tad over 10 big blinds.
while we're watching this go through, as the morning draws to a close, just a quick email, which I know Barry will love this, from Simon. Hi guys, enjoying the show. 2 questions for you. Can you tell me a quick lowdown on how to work out pot odds? I don't know what the other question is. Let me just read that again. Hi guys, enjoying the show. 2 questions for you. Can you tell me a quick lowdown on how to work out odds?
I think see, it's a trick question. He's trying to work out odds, and it's only 1 question in 2.
Well, the question is a bit wide. I think what he means here, and what you'll love the answering is you know, if you're up and down to a straight, or if you're 4 to a flush on the flop, what are your outs? What are the odds? So that you can work out his pot odds.
I'd answer that one very quickly. I'd say find yourself a very decent poker calculator
Oh.
online. Look,
Straight in,
there are so many good tools online. You know, go to Google, type in poker calculator. You're an online player. You've emailed us, so you must have access to the internet. Type it in, poker calculator. Download it, or there's loads of tools there out there. Use that. There are ways and means to work out whereby it's 4% for each out and 2% on the turn and the river. That's fine. You can do it like that if you want to do it pen and paper wise. But
when he's at a tournament, he hasn't got access to his internet. So if he flops 4 to the flush, 4 to the straight, and let's say he's got 15 outs on the flop, I think the simplest way is the rule of 4.
yeah,
Multiply it by 4.
4%, 4% per out.
Every out, 4%. So if you've got 15 outs, you're 60% to win. Get your money in.
Flush draw, 9 outs.
9 by
36.
4, 36. You're a 2 to 1 dog. Do you want to have a 2 to 1 dog? It's as simple as that. Use it all the time.
And if it gets you looking on the turn and the river, it's 2% on the turn, 2% on the river for outs as well.
There you go. And a half. So 3 left. When I say 3, I do of course mean 4.
That's the rule of 4. So with the blinds at 10-20, with 30,000 in the pot, every hand, there's no way anyone can be really passing too many blinds here. It's all about who's going to play the most aggressive. Obviously, you got to fancy Eddie
Was
Boy
Eddie
here.
Boy in the seat 1 when we was here just now?
Yes.
I don't remember that.
Yep, he's been a chip leader now for...
I think he just
A while.
changed his shirt or something. I'm sure I don't remember him seeing. I remember seat 1 was in good shape. So Eddie Boy dominating now. It's almost bingo now with blinds at 10-20. Clampett has no moves left. 2 hands will take 3/4 of his stack. So those 2 hands are now approaching. He has big blind this hand. That takes care of half his stack. And look what he's found. He's found the monster deuce 6. Difficult decision for him.
all in. That's the way he's played. Problem he's got is now if he moves in with Queen 10, you know you're going to be getting a caller from the
Well,
the chip
because
leader.
there's 30,000 minimum in
Exactly.
the middle. But he's been beaten to it. He's
Oh,
decided to
don't like
call,
the
and he
call.
could not have found himself a worse spot. He just could not. He's up against Queen Jack.
And now he's dead.
Drawing
Oh, well, exactly. No, there was a nine. A 9 on the river would have done it for him, but
an 8-9.
as
yeah.
long as it wasn't a spade.
Okay, so we say good night, Clampett. You stuck to it. Unlucky.
The TK Bok comes into effect once again.
Who are you going for? Are you going for Eddie Boy or 1, 2, 3
I
man?
think I'll go for Eddie Boy, actually.
What about SHRDN?
No, I'd definitely go for Eddie Boy.
All right, just to be difficult, I'll go for a 1, 2, 3 man. Who immediately takes the chip lead. I can't actually see what Eddie Boy's got there.
What, chip-wise? 205.
No, his cards.
Oh, no, I think that's a quick fold. And some kind of...
Well, what a nice time to get ace-queen.
because
Makes it very expensive. Very expensive.
well, I don't like blame him. He's got looked up by the big blind, who's now got himself an unpassable hand, in my opinion.
2 overs on the
Provided
up
he
and down.
moves first. If he moves first, has he
No,
checked?
he's checked it. He's checked it
Oh.
down. Oh.
As we say, he's done it all wrong. He collects. I think
He's played it horribly as well.
1, 2. Yeah, I think 1, 2, 3.
You
drawing
know,
dead.
I don't mind moving in on this flop and get the ace queen to pass.
What happens then? Did he bet out?
He bet
When he
out
hits it-
when he's
hits it-
made the nuts.
Oh, ace queen was dying to move in.
Oh dear,
Wow.
dear, dear. You play it limply with the draw. You hit your draw, and now you want to start getting busy with your chips when you got the nuts. Very strange.
I have tried this business of betting with the nuts. I got caught by a lad called J.P. Kelly who bet with the nuts and caught me. And I've tried it recently. Is when you hit your set, bet out with it first to speak.
Sometimes a good way to get on with these hands.
Some of you they can't possibly have that hand, but on balance, it's not working for me. I think I'll
No,
have to
because
go back to trapping.
it's all very nice, but you've got to find the person against you with the hand.
Yeah.
If they've missed with their ace queen, it's come a low flop, then you've given them a lot of reasons to pass.
Yep.
Oh, look at this. Gut shot for Eddie Boy. Second pair for 1, 2, 3. SHRDN's, he can't get involved now, can he? He's got to fold up with it. No, he's cool.
Well, it's easy for 1, 2, 3, man, because
So Eddie Boy
he's got
can
all
pass.
his chips in it and he's leading.
Well, can he pass? There's no...
He's still leading with all the chips in. He has no decisions to make. It's lovely. It's a lovely feeling when you get all your chips in.
He's checked. He's hit a gut shot again. He's made the straight. And SHRDN, is Eddie Boy going to bet out and try and get the rest? This could be all over. This could be the last hand. Yep, he bet. He's called and it's done. There you go.
Give me the gravy,
Eddie
baby.
Boy taking down
Give
the
me the gravy.
$1,000.
Takes the lot.
The $1,000 worth of fine wine. Well done to you, Eddie Boy.
498,000 chips.
I will say it wasn't the greatest display of poker I've ever seen in my days here on Poker Night Live, but it's a free roll. I'm sure you've enjoyed it and would have maybe played the 10 jack a little differently with the draw.
Well, I
there.
think we've seen 1 hand out of 3 hours that he's played, perhaps not to the optimum.
Yeah.
And if you only made 1 mistake all night, then you've done pretty well. You got the chips, you got the money. Don't care what he says. Well done.
Send the bottle our way, Eddie.
Have they got a bottle of wine for this or something?
$1,000 worth of wine they get for
Good
winning it.
grief.
Around $1,000. Anyway, Mr. Kendall, end of the show. Thanks very much for joining us this evening on Poker Night Live, and I'm sure you're back again very soon. I'm Barry the Bully Martin. Thanks for joining us in the last 4 hours. I'll see you again soon.